You duh. Yeah. You duh. You down with AIP? Yeah, you know me. Anything is possible to create. The key on the mic, I'm the truth, no fantasy. Podcast flow, old school vibe guaranteed. AIP, every listener knows. Breaking barriers, smashing the foes. Convos deeper than a philosopher's prose. We planting seeds, watch how it grows. Jumped on the beat like a classic cassette. Late night talk, the vibe you won't forget. Dropping wisdom gems, the grind is set. Every story told, ain't no limits met. You open the mind, the world opens wide. On this podcast, real thoughts collide. From the cooks in the kitchen to the suits we chide. Dreams get bigger when the truth's applied. Sip on success like it's poured in a mug. Real talk, no BS, no need for a shrug. In your ear like an anthem, snug as a hug. Tune in, feel the buzz, plug after plug. AIP, every listener knows. Breaking barriers, smashing the foes. Convos deeper than a philosopher's prose. We planting seeds, watch how it grows. AIP, every listener knows. Breaking barriers, smashing the foes. Convos deeper than the philosopher's prose. We planting seeds, watch how it grows. 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 In the swamp where the secrets lay thick. Whispers in the shadows, they hit like a brick. Talking with the moon, got the stars in a twist. Truth or illusion, the facts get dismissed. Talking with conspiracy, whispers in the air. Truth in the trenches, but who really care? From the dirty south where the legends get made. Stories in the dark, watch the shadows parade. Slick tongues spin tales like a spider on a thread. Hood prophets preach knowledge while the streets stay fed. Voices echo deep where the rivers don't flow. Lost truths buried under where the cold winds blow. Heavy bass thump, got the block hypnotized. Mysteries unfold under blood red skies. Voices in the static, they creep through the scene. Street sermons spill truths, but they cut like a guillotine. Talking with conspiracy, whispers in the air. Truth in the trenches, but who really care? From the dirty south where the legends get made. Stories in the dark, watch the shadows parade.
All you ever hear about in this country is our differences. It's all they ever talk about. Politicians and the media, always pushing the things that separate us, things that make us different. That's the way the ruling class operates in any society. They divide the rest of the people. They keep the lower and the middle classes fighting with each other so that they, the rich, can run off with all the fucking money. Fairly simple thing. Fairly simple thing. Happens to work. Anything that's different about us, you know that's what they're pushing at you. Racial differences, religious, ethnic, national backgrounds, jobs, income, education, social status, sexuality, anything they can do to keep us fighting with each other so that they can keep going to the bank.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club.
Welcome everybody back to the AIP channel, back to Talking with Conspiracy, and I think we're going to have another fun one tonight. Jamie and Dave might be running late. Jamie might not make it. I don't know. But Dave said he's supposed to be here, so we'll see how it goes. He might just have me. Who knows? But we're still going to have fun as always. Checking out the chat. What's up, Mr. Duffy? Number 1 on the YouTube. And Mr. Michael Strange, number 2. Appreciate it on the intro. Yeah, I had fun doing it. I still got some more. I've been working, tweaking on it some more. I haven't finished it yet though, so I got some little extra. Having fun. And we got Sweets on the Rumble. Appreciate everybody popping in for another fun show. Lots of crazy stuff. Thank you, James. Thank you for the sound check. I sure appreciate it. on the YouTube and the Rumble. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey, Kick, and a couple others I forget, but trying to spread out and see what we can do. Actually got a few people, views on BitChute lately, but I've been called some names over there, but that's okay. It happens. It happens. It happens. But yeah, we got lots of fun stuff I've been saving. I got lots of good at the end of always. We got a bunch of cool, feel good and animal videos, and never know, you might shed a tear. You never know. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, not the name calling. Yeah, hurt my feelings, James. Just hurt my feelings. They're sitting there. Call me names, call me crazy stuff. But oh well. If it makes them feel better, they'll be strong. Man, it's like where do we start? I got a lot of stuff on the title. We got lots of stuff on the and then I got a bunch of stuff, of course, extra. On top of everything. It's just it's been a fun week and everything. Let's see, where should we start? I'm gonna start off some of the random. I ain't gonna share that one yet. Let's see. That's where we start. We got hurricane. We got a hurricane right outside the nation. It's 800 miles wide. It's like from New York to Chicago wide right now. It's amazing. Hopefully, it stays east. We don't need no hurricane come across, manipulated or not. Hopefully, they stays across on the other side there. Show this one here. We worried about the AI and stuff. I do have a fun video coming out Friday. I talked with a guy, Peter Swim. He has an AI business and helps work with people, and me and him talked and had a pretty good conversation. Video got a little messed up for the visual. All you see is me, but you hear his voice, so that's going to be good enough. But it was a good conversation, and went all over the place a little bit, but we stayed pretty well on topic. So it'd be good to check out. It's coming out Friday, so if you get a chance, check it out. I did not hear about that, Mr. Duffy, but a lightning strike went from Lake Missouri to Utah. Holy hell. Oh, absolutely. The geoengineering program is real. They've been working on this shit for a long ass time. Long time. But speaking of AI, we worry about AI taking over our jobs, and we're going to have nobody here. Check this out. Mike, is it? That's either our. That's one of them packages was mine that was missing Sunday, and the other one was yours. I bet. Well, that's why our packages were late as hell. Shoot, mine was supposed to be here Sunday. It didn't get here till today. I got a package that was supposed to have been here Tuesday, but the one Sunday didn't get here today. So I don't know. Yeah. it could be now. That's could be how the little gray aliens be doing that shit. I mean, or what we're seeing is is ours. There's a lots of theories on that, and of course we got the grifters and all that running around, talking. It's the end of the world as we know it, and but will we be fine? I don't know. Some of the stuff is, it kind of gets me wondering some of it, with the Optimus robots, and of course they're not the only one making them. All of the big boys are, doing it. Elon and Amazon, and it's going down the line. It's going to be interesting in the next couple of years. By 2030, it's going to be a fun time to be in the old world for sure. As long as we can keep on keeping on. Speaking of the UFOs and grifters, this is, of course, YouTube. This is AI, but this is funny.
As UFO personalities, we understand the importance of being positive role models so people can take this topic seriously. Most people have the wrong impression of ufology. We're a non-violent movement. We're here to make a better, more transparent world for humanity.
No wonder you didn't make General, Carl. Go fuck yourself.
As UFO
It does seem like wrestling, especially with some of them personalities and everything, is pretty wild, Another funny random video. Till we get serious, huh? I'm gonna get a chance to let me look over here real quick. Okay, make sure Dave ain't trying to pop in. I gotta accept it, kind of deal. So, there are some fun videos for off the top.
And are you available to work overtime?
I don't usually mind overtime. It's like,
I don't recommend you drive while we do this.
oh no, I'm not. I'm parked up now.
Thanks too much, Chef Popeyes. My name is Diane Coffee, and I'm to come with today.
May I have a fish sandwich, please? No.
Okay. Are you available to work weekends?
Oh yes.
Fish sandwich?
Fish sandwich, please. Saturday and Sunday.
Anything else?
Just one fish sandwich. That'll be all.
$4.80, please, per round. Thank you.
Thank you. Saturday and Sunday is perfect.
I can see you. I know you're ordering food, but on this interview.
No, I'm not. I'm parked up. I'm in my car right now.
I can see that you're ordering a fish sandwich at McDonald's while you're doing this interview with me.
No, I'm not ordering anything. If I was, I'd be at Popeyes. But
I heard you ask for a fish sandwich.
Oh
I'm
no.
sorry. Do you need to order food, or would you like to do this interview?
No, I'll do the interview. Yeah, I wasn't ordering food. If I was, I already ordered it, but I didn't.
Do you have any questions for me?
Yes. Do you have any ketchup? I mean, like, how soon were you?
No, I'm not the drive-through, so I don't provide ketchup.
Yeah, I know. You're kind of making me hungry. I kind of want to go to a drive-through now, but
You are at a drive-through. I can see you.
No. No, I see.
Yes, you are at a drive-through.
No, I see how you would think that.
You.
I pulled into this random restaurant to do this interview.
You just asked for a fish sandwich. I can see and hear everything you're doing. Listen, maybe we should schedule this at another time. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.
I am parked up now.
And are you available to work overtime?
I don't usually mind overtime. It's like,
I don't recommend you drive while we do this.
oh no, I'm not. I'm.
Come on, stop playing. There we go. What's up? What life? Politics and wrestling do go hand in hand, and Trump is a WWF Hall of Famer. Don't forget that, man. He is in the WWE Hall of Fame. He probably in the blindest bulb in the world, James. I know we had one of the HRs years ago where I used to work. He told me one time they put an ad in the paper one time. They did it once. They had a flood of people down there, and this guy was about to walk into the office, and he put out his joint as right before he about to walk in the door. And the HR guy called him right there, and he's like, "Look, we don't need to waste our time. We got a drug test you, just go on down the road." But yeah, he said that was the craziest crap we've ever seen. Absolutely, crazy crap. Speaking of crazy crap, using the sun and a mirror and not a glass just to.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how the pyramids were built.
Yeah.
Heat. Brother Dave, Mr. Dave's Waffle House is in the house. Appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you.
First sacrifice.
Here's a weird video. We talked about this. I think we talked about this some last week. I don't know. See what y'all think.
Breaking red heifer sacrifice update. The recent red heifer sacrifice wasn't burned in a rehearsal. It was real.
The red heifer people, they fooled everybody. So what they did was they said, we're going to do a practice one.
According to Adam King, he has the ashes.
Right here, red heifer ashes. They ended up going out, doing a real cow, and that's tikva. It was a real offering. They did it all by the laws.
Byron Stinson, the Christian evangelical Texas cattleman we interviewed in Christspiracy, whose segment was banned from theaters worldwide, raised the red heifers and flew them to Israel using government-backed loopholes and hundreds of thousands of dollars. He confirmed a perfect red heifer sacrificed in a perfect ceremony.
Now that this happened, the Messiah can come build the third temple in Jerusalem.
This ritual is intended to restart the millions of bloody temple animal sacrifices, a system that Jesus and the Nazarenes turned the tables against. The priests trained for this ceremony were groomed from childhood, forbidden from going outside, and not even allowed to touch the earth.
They have to be of a specific bloodline. They raise these children in like these elevated homes above the ground, and they never leave the home until they're ready to do the rituals. So the priest who did this literally lived in his home for over 20 years.
Never left?
Nope, because he was born to do this ritual.
Some say a twisted and deeply abusive path masked as purity. And this one cow, Tikva, flown from Texas, sacrificed in secret, is now at the center of prophetic claims and miracle rumors.
There's going to be miraculous healings as a result of this ritual.
Some, like Adam King, are claiming her ashes are healing people around the world.
This is the stuff right here. They have been sprinkling on people. A man with Alzheimer's who just started remembering everything, sight to the blind. There's some real miracles that have happened since this has gone down.
But the question is, would Jesus endorse child-groomed priests performing blood rituals to create ashes of healing? Or would he support a sacrifice that appears to have helped spark a war? Hamas stated that the October 7th attacks were, in part, a reaction to the red heifers, which they believe were connected to plans to demolish the Dome of the Rock and rebuild the Third Temple, as publicly promoted on the Temple Institute's website, an organization that receives support from the Israeli government and evangelical Christians worldwide.
Israel should make the Gaza Strip a parking lot and get a great big missile and blow that wicked Dome of the Rock plumb off of the spot where it's standing right now, so we can get that Third Temple rebuilt and usher in the coming of Jesus.
This is exactly what Christspiracy exposes, that animal slaughter isn't just an ancient ritual, it's the foundation of a worldwide system built on blood and violence. From religious wars to industrial slaughter, from big pharma to government collusion, trillions of lives are lost each year in an industry fueled by exploitation, human trafficking, and modern-day slavery. Watch the full story uncensored. Comment red heifer and we'll DM you a link.
We got no DMs for links. That's some wild stuff. Make sure she didn't knock me. Then mute me when Shadow was trying to come up here and join the fun. I shoot her away. Get away, get away, get away. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy times right now, and we got one side. There's so much of bombardment of everything going on right now. You got that going on where it's like a true group of people. Like I said, it was. I'm gonna keep showing this. The dig. This show right here kind of show what they were talking about. It was. They were trying. There's a group that was trying to bring in, revelation and end times, and it looks like, that's what they want. They want to bring in the third temple. They want to bring in the second coming. They want all this to end. What was it going to cause? And I thought the switch over to politics and the crazy stuff. And I was on the Angry Tiger show right before I came over here, and Karen from the Knights of the Storm made a comment like, maybe they didn't hate each other as much as they did, because Hillary's talking good about Trump right now. She would nominate him for the Nobel Peace Prize.
If President Trump were the architect of that, I'd nominate him for a Nobel Peace Prize.
We are on the precipice of a meeting between President Trump and President Putin in Alaska. Drawing on your experience as Secretary of State, if you were en route to Alaska, what would you be looking to get? What does an acceptable deal look like?
He is not meeting with a friend. He is meeting with an adversary, and an adversary who wants to see the destruction of the United States and the Western alliance. But if he could bring about the end to this terrible war, where Putin is the aggressor, invading a neighbor country, trying to change the borders, if he could end it without putting Ukraine in a position where it had to concede its territory to the aggressor, had to, in a way, validate Putin's vision of greater Russia, but instead could really stand up to Putin to make it clear there must be a ceasefire, there will be no exchange of territory, and that over a period of time, Putin should be actually withdrawing from the territory he seized in order to demonstrate good faith efforts, let us say, not to threaten European security. If President Trump were the architect of that, I'd nominate him for a Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah, I agree, Mr. Strange. I agree. They're all comic book characters, and they're all freaking evil comic book characters. But one day I'm gonna go through all my bookmarks and where I can actually put stuff together and still. There's got to be a way to do it. But here's another clip from old Miss Hillary.
I actually was encouraged by the events of the last several months. First of all, the NATO commitment by individual member states to increase their defense spending is very welcome. It's something that prior administrations have certainly sought, and I think it's great that we are seeing these commitments that now have to be followed through on. The willingness of European countries to support Ukraine, and by doing so, buy American weapons in order to provide them to the Ukrainians. I think all of that is a very good signal that there is beginning to be a better understanding, both by the president and the people around him, as well as by the leaders of our European allies, that there can be common ground amongst us. And the kind of dismissiveness that we saw in the first Trump administration has been replaced by a much more obvious working relationship to the good of European security, transatlantic security, and hopefully Ukrainian security. So I'm actually encouraged.
Wild times. You know, somebody that totally was talking about he was going to end them all, and now she's talking all so good about him. And so it's just it's a soap opera that so many people are invested in. Absolute soap opera. What's up, monkey? And Sweets and James, yeah, Shadow has things to say sometimes, but I know this is her studio, but she's gonna have to give me a little space. I don't know if y'all seen this or not. Yeah. Trump showing off a little bit, like, look, they're sitting right here waiting. I thought that was the other clip I had. And one here, they flew over. Flew over his head. Where? I know I saved it. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I see stuff so much and all kinds of stuff. There's stuff going on in DC is kind of crazy. You know, West Virginia and South Carolina sending troops.
0, 1.
We don't need that music. To add to it, you know, you keep hearing people talk about it. It's one of them things where it's you know, the other states are next. You got JD Vance making comments like that. Trump was saying that, you know, we can maybe look into other cities. So if you got a major city and it's got major troubles, it could be on the list. You know, I already said before, like, you know, I got Cash Patel talking Memphis. Memphis is how terrible it was, and it was, I'm sure it's on the top 5 of the list. You know, get New York, Chicago, but throw Memphis in there, probably St. Louis, Detroit. About to get crazy in the country. About to get crazy. But, you know, again, you got all these left, you know, talking more and more like positive on Trump. So it's, you know, more talking heads.
Look, I'll say this for Trump. He's got this idea that America is still the biggest swinging dick in the world, and we have not used our power as much as we should. That's what the tariffs are about. We have the power to change these people's, other nations' trading practices with us, some of which were out of line. I'm surprised that people went along with it as much as they did. So he wasn't completely wrong about that. He said, look, NATO hasn't been paying their fair share. I'm going to make them do that. He wasn't wrong about that. And I'll tell you this, one thing about him that I know, I'm not going to tell you how I know, but a lot of people have seen the same thing. He really does hate war. Right. He really does not like it when people die in war. There's 4 different wars. Look, I'll say this for Trump. He's got this idea that
Matt said, I believe so. Yeah, we are in a maybe we're in Alice in Wonderland. That's why we got the we're behind the mirror. That's that's why we remember things that they say never happened, because we're on the other side of that damn mirror now. It's crazy. But then you see stuff like this. Shouldn't worry about it. Larry Fink is going to be the new chairman of the World Economic Forum, the head of BlackRock. Yeah, no, don't worry about that here. Don't. Things going to be okay. I don't know. Though you got this one lady talking about the crime.
City leaders and others that crime is actually down. Are you seeing that?
No, I'm not seeing it. We're seeing carjackings, the violence in the communities. So we were advocating then for the National Guard to come out, but they said there was no need. But think about how many lives could have been saved just having them on the scene.
And Asia says, still to this day, she's not heard from one detective about those crimes committed against her family. Now, for Tempe Satcher, another D.C. resident, her son BJ was gunned down in a random drive-by shooting on the way to work 2 years ago, and she does not feel that crime has calmed down.
Just today, a young lady was shot over on 15th Street in Northeast D.C. Does that seem like crime gone down? With all the things that are going on with our president, sending the National Guards out, I don't have a problem with that personally, because if MPD can't do it and they need help, then I'm glad they're able to get the help.
Hey, Ashley, glad you made it over here too today. Glad you made it to the show today.
Hear from.
Oops. And what I was saying here, Clandestine was talking about it. He posted about it, saying, here's what I was talking about. J.D. Vance was even making that. He quoting a comment where he made, "We do not have to allow our cities to be taken over by violence and disorder and chaos. The DC is truly just the beginning." What's up, Hiker? AKA Foggy. It's and we need it. I mean, we do need to take our streets back. We do need to have some of this, needs to come around. I mean, I don't really know the answer on it of what, it's a slippery slope. If we start bringing in the military and we bring in National Guard and everything, if they're already there, it's an easy flip a switch and we're all locked down. So I'm kind of glad I'm out in the country now. I get away. What's up, Indy? Glad you made it today too. And we're gonna it's gonna be a good chat tonight. I know it. We got a lot of great, amazing people on the chat. Mission Control is in the house. Yep, do not comply. That's it. And here's another of the we're living in a world of which in one way maybe it's not an upside down world. We got Obama won a Nobel Peace Prize, and he did more drone strikes than anybody else ever. So, why can't Trump get one? But when you 70,000 monks.
70,000 monks just broke their vows of silence to nominate Trump for the Nobel.
Dear Mr. President Trump, we are standing here today with hearts full of appreciation. Today, 70,000 Cambodian Buddhist monks are wholeheartedly supportive of our Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Manet to nominate you for the Nobel Peace Prize. Please accept, Mr. President.
70,000 monks can't be wrong. After Trump brokered a peace deal between Cambodia and Thailand, the monks went ultra MAGA and shaved their heads like Stephen Miller. So 47's thinking about sending them all 70,000 of them Trump 2028 hats, duty and tariff-free. Zelenskyy and Macron went home yesterday with hats that said 4 more years. Just like when you visit a museum, Trump brought them to the gift shop right before they hit the door. Putin wanted a hat too, but instead Melania gave him a letter that said, "Stop killing kids." And Trump buzzed them with B-2s.
Alaska was a show of force by President Trump. He invited President Putin to land that the Russians used to own. He displayed a huge amount of military hardware and then did a flyover. It was kind of like inviting your uncontrollable neighbor to your house and showing him your gun case.
Trump's giving everybody options, the easy way or the hard way. This time, Zelenskyy picked the easy way. He wore a suit, said his thank yous, and brought Trump a big, beautiful gift, a putter from a Ukrainian soldier who lost his legs in a war and then picked up golf. Engraved on the head, "Let's putt peace together."
Constantine, first of all, I just watched your swing. I know a lot about golf. And your swing is great. It looks beautiful. And you're going to be a very good golfer very soon. But I also want to thank you for this putter. It's beautiful. And it's made with real love. And it's given to me with real love from you. And I appreciate that. Every time I sink a putt, I'll be thinking about you.
Maybe the president will bring his new putter to Doral, where the PGA just announced Trump's club will host a tour event. The Europeans already calling it Daddy Shack. Yesterday, they were on their best behavior. Trump kept calling France's president by his first name, Emmanuel. And Macron responded with a Mr. President. He was, quote, like a schoolboy speaking to his teacher. That's how President Trump likes his allies to behave. And although the leaders were still meeting as this column went to press, he appears to have whipped them into shape. The Europeans were sitting around the Resolute desk yesterday like they were waiting for class to start. Trump was giving Europe a geography lesson. He even put up the big, beautiful map and sent it home with Zelenskyy as homework. Now, if Zelenskyy can read a map like Trump can read a putt, we'll have a deal in no time. The last president to save Europe from Russian aggression was Reagan, and his portrait was staring them down in the Oval. Compare that to Trump's first term, when Europe and Merkel were trying to look down on him and tell him he was wrong. Now Europe realizes he was right about everything, and they're the ones doing the listening. Even Obama's guys are admitting 47's in control.
Whoever had the idea to bring all these European leaders together, in addition to President Zelenskyy, that was a brilliant, brilliant idea.
Donald Trump didn't make Europe feel too comfortable. When it was time to get down to business and call Putin, he kicked them out of the room.
I didn't do it in front of them. I thought that would be disrespectful to President Putin. I wouldn't do that because they have not had the warmest relations. And actually, President Putin wouldn't talk to people from Europe. I mean, that was part of the problem.
CNN is now whining that Zelenskyy had to wait in the hallway.
The fact that he feels he's got to check in with Putin right away still feels like Trump needs Putin's approval in a way that's got to be very disturbing to Zelenskyy sitting there.
This isn't CNN's first rodeo. They should know the first time Putin and Zelenskyy talk should be face-to-face, not on speakerphone. And what? Trump's not supposed to call Vlad to set up the next round of talks? Who else is he going to call? Obama talked to Putin. Hillary talked to Putin. Biden even talked to Putin. How are you supposed to end the war if you don't talk to the guy who started it? CNN tried to get the Finns to leak another perfect phone call.
Do you know what Trump, said to Putin on the phone? I mean, what were the specifics that he put out there?
Obviously, in diplomacy, what happens in the Oval Office stays in the Oval Office when the media is not in there. I've been involved in peace mediation before, and I think that President Trump is genuinely trying to bring this war to an end.
Trump says, if you're curious, I'll tell you.
We had a very good call. And I told him that we're going to set up a meeting with President Zelenskyy, and you and he will meet. And then after that meeting, if everything works out, okay, I'll meet and we'll wrap it up. But it takes in this case two to tango. They have to have somewhat of a relationship. Otherwise, we're just wasting a lot of time. I don't want to be doing that. I just want to end it.
The White House says Putin's agreed to meet Zelenskyy one-on-one. Could happen within the next few weeks. And they're shopping around for a site. Budapest is now the front runner. But Switzerland making a last-second play, promising not to arrest the Russian leader on war crimes. How diplomatic. But Obama's right-hand woman, Susan Rice, says Trump doesn't understand the art of the deal.
Russia interfered in the 2016 election by disinformation campaigns. And rather than put the sort of pressure on Putin and Russia, he is rolling out the red carpet, doing military flyovers, giving him a ride in the presidential limousine.
Rice thought buzzing Putin with B-2s was an honor. It was a flex. And why not get to know each other in the beast? 41 flew VAD on Marine One, took him to Kennebunkport to meet with his son. They rode up and down the Maine coast on the family's Fidelity 3. Could you imagine if Trump took Putin to Bedminster and played a round of golf? Picking up the phone isn't even close to that. Rice's commander-in-chief wrote love letters to the Ayatollah. Did that stop the Iranians from nuking up? No. Hillary gave the Russians a reset button. Did that stop the Russians from invading Ukraine? No. The Democrats can sit this one out. Trump's just fixing the left's mess.
From the beginning of this entire process, much of the left-wing media has been actively rooting against the president of the United States in the pursuit of peace. All weekend following those historic U.S.-Russia bilateral talks, we listened to clueless pundits on television trying but failing to claim that the president had failed. The so-called experts in the foreign policy establishment, whose record is nothing but endless wars, trillions of wasted taxpayer dollars, and dead Americans, have the nerve to try and lecture President Trump, who has solved 7 global conflicts in 7 months.
Trump stopping wars that started on Democrats' watch. Even the monks get it. Even Democrats like Stephen A. get it.
It was Biden in office when a full-fledged war against Ukraine took place. It was Russia that invaded Crimea, and that was under the Obama administration. It was Clinton in office when you made a deal that disarmed the Ukraine and therefore weakened them, leaving them dependent on the United States. What I'm saying is promises made are supposed to be promises kept.
What was Joe Biden's plan to win the war in Ukraine? He didn't have one. What was Biden's plan to end the war in Ukraine? He didn't have one. If Kamala won, did she have a strategy? Of course not. The Europeans just don't want to be next on Putin's menu. And that makes sense. But now that Trump made Europe foot the bill for the war, they're like, all right, let's call it a day. And after their meeting yesterday, they told Trump at the table, great talk. We'll see you in a month or two.
They said a month or two? You're going to have another 40,000 people dead in a month or two. You have to do it tonight.
The Obama-Biden doctrine of strategic patience, a.k.a. don't change anything, just got doged. Trump doesn't have time for shenanigans. And if you look at the body count, neither does Ukraine. You can see why the president has the wind at his back. Trump's approval rating's been surging. Insider Advantage has him up 8 points since July. But Trump's not making peace for politics or for the Nobel Peace Prize, maybe just a little. He's doing it because he wants to walk through the pearly gates.
I want to try and get to heaven if possible. I'm hearing I'm not doing well. I hear I'm really at the bottom of the totem pole. But if I can get to heaven, this will be one of the reasons.
When Trump got shot in the head in Butler, it changed him. He believes God saved his life to keep him on earth, to put America first and stop the killing. And deep down, Trump knows he's been a little bit of a bad boy. So ending the Ukraine war is going to go a long way with the big guy upstairs. Good acts like ending wars don't automatically get you into heaven. As my good friend Harold Ford Jr. says, you also have to love your neighbor as you love yourself and love your Lord with all of your heart. So Trump is this close. I'm sure he's in. And we all know God loves song, and so does the president. In between brokering bilaterals, he's testing out the speaker system on the brand new White House patio.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know about Jesse Waters and his eyes and stuff. I'm not sure, Mike. I ain't never. Maybe it's the lights, or it just he has so much emotion invested into telling what he's got to tell that it just brings a tear to his eye. Maybe that's all it is. I don't know. Yeah, so Trump's working on his way to get to the pearly gates. We're recognition, so he wants to get to heaven. So this is his path. This is his journey. Hey, they do have Trump 2028 hats and stuff. I don't know. It'd take a lot. They would have to go. It would have to be major upsets on midterms to get the power to overturn where he could even try. So, but hey, anything's possible now. Anything is possible. What's up, Lily? Appreciate you coming in. Yeah, I don't know, Mike. It's wild. It's wild to see. That's his mentality right now. That's his goal. He's telling the politicians, hey, it's no problem. I'm glad you're here. You made it. What are we? Only 47 minutes in, so that ain't bad. Not bad at all. Appreciate you, Indy, for posting them links there. I don't know. I mean, they would have to overturn the limit. It would take a majority of people, and there'd be a lot of people acting a fool about it. They could be silly as hell and flip it. Have JD Vance run as president and then Trump as vice president. I think that you could actually do that. But I don't see Trump being second to anybody. So, I don't think his ego would do that. But, there is a possibility there, and I'd be pretty much a guaranteed win for JD. Yeah, I agree, Mike. His ego and his age. I mean, hey, by the time he's done with this, see where the world is when he gets done, at that point. But it's one of them, and he's going to be. Let's see, I forget. He's 79 years old right now. So he'd be 82. Does he really want to, at 82 years old, all the money he has, everything he has, does he really want to, he'd be 86 if he did another term? I think who knows? We got people on the damn street. You'll see. I didn't say that video, but there's people, talking. They even made the comment he need to be, that Trump needs to, become the dictator because he's doing such a good job. Like, what y'all need to watch what you ask for. This y'all trying to open a can of shit. Yeah, I think it is. It'll be time for him to retire. I think he will. I think he's trolling. He is a freaking massive troll, and he likes fucking with people. And I think that's what he's doing. I think he's just trolling people with the hats and, just hinting and messing around, acting like he could do it, just to see, just make people talk. I think that's all it is. That's all it is. Truly, is just making people talk. Yeah, they do. Indeed, people want to believe that somebody's going to save us. Maybe it's all the comic books and comic book movies and the movies we watched over as a kid. Just you always got the white knight coming in. Old westerns we watch. We always got that white knight coming in to save us, and and make the world better or make this better. I mean, we always have hope, and that things will get better, but but truly, like the way everything's going right now, it's like like, I mean, I can go ahead and switch right into the next little section here on the title. For the title, we're calling for peace in Ukraine and trying to broker a deal, which needs to be done. Absolutely, Ukraine-Russia war needs to be done. The United Nations and all the European countries are like, we want to wait a couple months, and then they're like, well, 40,000 people be dead in a couple months. That's terrible. But on the flip side of that, while everybody's sleeping and thinking about Ukraine, Trump and the United States military and the Marines we got 4,000 Marines heading to Venezuela. And they're saying that the president down there is not legitimate and is a narco terrorist. Let me let y'all see this video. So one side, peace, which, they're trying to stop drug traffic, even though our government and the CIA funded most of it. But hey, don't worry about that either.
Venezuela, and there's 4,000 Marines on board. Are you looking at possibility of boots on the ground there? What I will say with respect to Venezuela, President Trump has been very clear and consistent. He's prepared to use every element of American power to stop drugs from flooding into our country and to bring those responsible to justice. The Maduro regime is not the legitimate government of Venezuela. It is a narco-terror cartel. In Maduro, it is the view of this administration, is not a legitimate president. He is a fugitive head of this cartel who has been indicted in the United States for trafficking drugs into the country. Venezuela.
Yeah, and didn't Venezuela? Let me look it up. Yeah, they just found, didn't they? Whether or not it was gold, or I'm trying to look it up. I'm trying to remember. They just found a whole bunch of like there's a whole bunch of oil, and I think a whole bunch of gold, and it was a major cache of resources down there. I agree, Mr. Strange. I think they are. You know, we can go all the way back to, you know, if you just want to go back to Vietnam, if you want to go back farther than that, Iran Contra, possibly even, you know, Pearl Harbor. Yeah, I think a lot of them heads of state, and we know that, you know, we know the CIA trafficked it so much, you know, and overthrew most of South America at one point in time that we have actually regime changed the entire freaking southern continent. I guess we're going to start again. We've gone through the whole list, and it's time to start going through again. I guess it's they're running out of countries to overthrow that has nice, you know, abundance of gold and you know, let's ask Grok. I think it was gold. I can't even spell it today. I can't spell today. I can't spell today. So I cheat. Yeah, for sure. Gaddafi was cool until he wasn't. That dude was a monster. Yeah, mission control, that, you know, that damn looting spree. It's going to be a little bit on this. I forget I got it on the expert, so she's really going to be a second on there. But yeah, things that make you go and ask them questions of, you know, why are we intervening down there? I mean, if it's about drugs is one thing, but, you know, supposedly we got the border locked down and on both sides, and, you know, the influx is down tremendously. But, or is it more? Is there more to it? There were 10,000 metric tons. That's a lot. That's a lot of gold. Lots of gold. What's up, Jason? Appreciate you popping in over here too. Mr. Knights of the Storm. Trying to see the National Guard. Go back to where I was. Larry Fink. No problem, Mission Control. See you back in a second. Ashley is for sure. But I already said hi to her. She beat you here. Just need Karen here and then. You had the whole trifecta. Which, since we're right there, looks like I'll be coming back on Knights of the Storm, and we're having some more fun looking like next month. So that will be a good time. And we'll sure keep everybody in the loop and let everybody know, so we can everybody come on there and we'll have a good time and have a good conversation for sure. Miscontrol. You know, I forgot about this. I got the Smithsonian stuff in DC, you know, where they get all the National Guard. We touched on a little bit earlier, you know, and they're bringing in more. But what's going on? You know, you got troops and everybody all over. I'm still curious on that, you know, the Smithsonian, they're supposed to go through there and clean up and get everything, you know, more in line, which I have seen some clips of some videos and, you know, crazy stuff they have up at the beginning of the Smithsonian. Like you walk in, there's stuff you wouldn't think be in the museum. You know, and it was surprising to me to even see that video. It was a whole bunch of, you know, bondage stuff like that for, you know, sexual bondage crap. It in the front of it for little kids could see, and like y'all got you got giant skeletons in there in the basement over here where y'all won't even let nobody see none of that, but y'all got this crap out here in front. I don't know. Smithsonian's evil anyway. I think. Let me play this video real quick.
I hope there's certain things that he oversees that seem to be supported in a bipartisan way, like getting terrible toxic stuff out of our kids' food. I think that's a great thing. And so, if you do that, that's amazing. I'd hate to be so mired in hatred for the president that any success from his administration is something I'd have an allergic reaction to. To be like, oh, well, if they do it, I don't want it to happen. I'll put Clorox in my children's cereal myself. You know, it's like, come on, be reasonable here. There's certain things that would be a good thing to have. I want them all to be successful for the most.
It's cool to see them kind of level head. You know, you do see that. You see a lot of the extreme. You know, and we always. We over here check stuff out, make sure ain't nobody trying to pop in. You know, always trying extreme looking on any extreme side. Like, you know, if it's on one side and they're doing anything that's even good, or, you know, it's not good because it's on that side. It's you know, BS. You know, we need, if it's good, it's good. Just because, you know, if it's the party that you're not your favorite or your, you know, but that's, you know, that's the problem that we have right now. Like, you know, they've got some that's no matter what happens, you know, they got some on one side that no matter what Trump does, guaranteed they'll praise him and love him, won't call him out on his bullshit. And then the other side, you know, no matter what he does, good or bad, you know, if he does good, well, it's not good because he did it. You know, it's crock of shit. It really is. You know, both sides calling out BS, you know, instead of it's pretty funny video, but not funny, but the reporter sure asked him.
President Zelenskyy, are you prepared to keep sending Ukrainian troops to their deaths for another couple years, or are you going to agree to redraw the maps?
Thank you for your question. So, first of all, you know, we live under each day attacks. You know that today have been a lot of attacks and a lot of wounded people, and the child was dead, small one year and a half. So we need to stop this war, to stop Russia, and we need support American and European partners. And we will do our best for this. So. And I think we show that we are strong people, and we supported the idea of the United States, of personally of President Trump, to stop this war to make a diplomatic way of finishing this war, and we are ready for trilateral.
President Zelenskyy, are you?
What's up? We spoke Karen up. Appreciate you listening, Karen. We do have the full trifecta of the Knights of the Storm here now. That's awesome. I appreciate y'all coming on and able to make it tonight. What's up, brother Wally? Mr. Wally's World is in the house. Appreciate you, brother. Let's see what else I got. 4,000. All the monks. We talked about the monks. I need to get all this stuff in line one day. Yeah, that still amazes me. 70,000 monks are sitting there going, and then Hillary over here agreeing. It's a wild, wild time. Wild time in the world for sure. What's up, Bat? Glad you're here too. Nice. Appreciate you, Wally, for listening. Appreciate you, Wally. Flip out politics for a little bit. Tired of talking politics. All my title is all politics, but as always, we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff and see what y'all think here. Have y'all seen this yet? Who's going to go out and get a robot to carry their baby for them? I don't know. I don't know. Only $14,000. I guess, maybe super celebrities might do it, if they don't want to hurt their body, from they can keep on acting and not worry about it. I don't know. Some wild, wild stuff. It is a very brave new world. I don't know. That's a lot of trust you put into I agree with Mr. Strange. Yeah, it is the next logical tech innovation with the falling birth rates. No matter who you're talking to, that's not kind of what they want. Some want them birth rates to fall. Uncle Bill had talked about, I thought, but but that is the next reasonable, but it's still you're thinking about your baby getting carried 9 months inside of a robot. Or how they get it out. Well, it would make a cool sound and like and smoke and everything, go like a pod or something like that. Just curiosity and everything. Just curiosity and everything. And how about a robot cook you a little breakfast or a little dinner here, a little fried rice. Does look pretty good now. Karen, I can agree with that. That's part of the the motherhood of it, and everything, and they're hearing their voice and they're hearing their heart rate and what they listen to, music wise affects the baby. Everything, the mother does affects the baby, kind of food they eat or anything, and if you take that all the way about, you would think it would actually take um, it might make a very cynical bunch of world, like, just no empathy or anything for anybody. Just don't give a crap because they didn't have that love and emotion and that bond um, in that situation. I don't know. It's kind of scary. Uh, here's the picture, Karen. I know said you were listening. There's a little robot with a little pod on the outside. I don't know. I don't know how it affected. Maybe this is just, of course, theoretical and not actual prototype or anything like that. But I would think it would, you know, they would have to have it covered, whatever. You couldn't. Um, the baby's skin will be able to actually, you know, deal with sunshine because it's not made to deal with sunshine inside of them. It's supposed to be, it's growing and everything. Like Strange said, insane. Think of it this way: a robot womb nanny with no alcohol or drugs or human chaos and infinite patience. Yeah, maybe so. Um, be no alcohol, no drugs, no stimulants, no caffeine. Nothing. No kind of stimulants whatsoever. Would that absolutely be the cure for autism and stuff like that? Where it could be, and they were. I bet the Chinese started using them first. Oh yeah, Chinese scientists are doing it. I was like, I know it's going to be Chinese. I mean, they're already messing with gene therapy too over there. So you could turn around and think of it, using that gene therapy with CRISPR and eliminate the bad, and then put all the good in, and then have super babies, superhumans. Um, maybe with the heartbeat, just throwing this out here, and like throwing the pitch out and letting see who hits it back at me, whatever. But I mean, you could. I know it needs to have that comfort and everything, but maybe they would have a sensitized heartbeat where you can hear that the baby could hear the heartbeat. But no problem, Jason. Take care of your friend. That's more important to show. Absolutely. And our thoughts and prayers of her losing her son. I can't imagine. I know my grandma, when she lost my uncle, it devastated her. She was trying to figure out why she was still here and not him, why, it was really hard on her. Well, I imagine they'd be born with a soul. It's still going to be, it'll still be, um, they, just like they do right now, like that one baby that they froze since the 90s, and then it popped out. They'd take the egg, from a mama, and then the sperm from a father, and put it together, and so it still would have part of the parents in there. I don't know. As Mr. Strange says, there's no answer, especially on this one here. I got no answers on this. Just throwing out some questions and seeing what y'all think for sure. I mean, you could see it on both sides of the positives and stuff. You wouldn't have to worry about, um, you know, if, especially, if your mama gets sick or something like that, it's going to affect the baby. But yeah, I'm with you, Indy. Being grown and raised by a robot. But I mean, if that's what you're used to, it's one of them things. Like if you're, some people are used to having, a single family, mother or just a father, and that's what they're used to, and they get used to it. And if you get turned around, if you got, or have a home like I was raised in, most of my life, I had both parents, and I had one of my set of my grandparents living with, we all lived together. So I had my mom's parents and then my mom and dad and me and my brother. So, so I had a different world, but I don't know. Yeah. The amount of percentage of error on that right there is going to be so small. If they F that up, it's not a good time for sure. Yeah, Matt Sowell for sure. We're one step closer to the Matrix, Yeah, Karen, we are fortunate to have our families and live in the experiences that we had, and grandparents and great grandparents. And I was talking about my great grandma on Monday on Algorithms show and live stream, and he don't like calling it show. It's a live stream. He don't like calling it a show. He don't have a show. But now brought up, that lady would cook. She cooked probably 7, 8 pies and then 8, 10 cakes and full course meal, everything. If we had just 4 people there, 8 people there, it didn't matter. She had enough food that everybody got to take home. It's one of them things that you're thankful for the memories and what you can see and everything. Moving on, China's doing all kinds of things over there. They're trying everything, and they don't give a damn. They're going to throw some money at some stuff, and they're going to do some stuff. Right now, they're testing a vacuum high-speed train that can travel 1,000 kilometers an hour. I think I've seen something. I thought I seen a comment. But how far it was and everything. That's fast. That'd be a new stereotype, Mike. It'd be a new stereotype, Oh, you were raised by people. You weren't raised by a robot. You're Nice, Karen. Yeah. She'd have probably 2 meats and then 5, 6 sides, and then, like I said, and then multiple different cakes and pies. It wouldn't be all the same pies. It'd be multiple. Egg custard pies and carrot cake and all kinds of stuff. She'd get up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and start cooking. I've been over there first thing for breakfast, and it'd be the same thing. Just be pancakes and bacon, eggs, sausage, everything you throw your head at. It was crazy. I believe it, Karen. She said they already had trains like that at the underground, the leaks zip around in. I wouldn't doubt it. They were really talking about it. Everybody was back in, what was it, 10, 15 years ago, they were sitting there. Yeah. Yeah, Cubs, trays of biscuits. Hell yeah. Y'all gonna make me have to go to Waffle House after I get done with this tonight before I go get something to eat. There were all all of them were talking about underground bunkers and everything, you know, them super elite bunkers and the cities underneath bunkers. You hadn't heard of, I hadn't heard anything. Y'all tell, you know, you tell me. Yeah, Elon has the Boring Company, and he is making, I think he's doing something in Nashville right now and doing, connecting some stuff. Sweets is okay. Wally, she's been over on the Rumble chat, but she's here. I'll swing some chairs with him, Mike, for sure. They better not mess with me. Better not, let me get my waffle and my eggs and don't mess with me. My grandparents' grandma, she had, when she was 80, 82, she still worked out in the garden. She had a full garden with all kinds of stuff. She had turnips and I remember I was a little kid and I was trying to figure out what the hell a turnip was and stuff. I bit into it like an apple, but which, you know, some people like them, eat them that way. I don't know. I don't think I've eaten another one since. I would put it that way. But she would have the snap peas in it. You know, and we sit there and we snapping peas and stuff like that in the garden. So we can cook peas and all that stuff. What's up, Monique? Monique is in the house. Just on a random note, on the tech, I just seen this for all our gamer friends. PlayStation and Xbox says they're going to play nice with each other now and actually not have exclusive titles anymore. They're going to let the exclusive titles run on each one. That's should be interesting to see, because before you used to buy a certain, you know, people would buy a certain platform just to get a certain game plan, and now you can actually buy what you want, I guess. Oh yeah, green beans with bacon, big old hunk of bacon in there, for sure. Let me go back to my random. And there's a little uproar about Cracker Barrel changing their logos and changing everything out.
I want to join in on the hate. If the Cracker Barrel don't look like the Jim Crow South, I can't eat there. You got to have the racism aesthetic. You got to have the rocking chairs and the hint of segregation.
But I don't know. It's
sinners. Then how do I know I'm in a Cracker Barrel? This is a gentrified Cracker Barrel. They done took all the character out of it, and I know the edges of the pancake ain't burnt. I gotta feel like somebody wants to say, "Good morning, boy."
Yeah, I know I'm supposed to go. Mom wants to go to Cracker Barrel Sunday, so I'll check it out. I'll let y'all know next week if the ones around here are all looking crazy. I'm wondering what they doing all that stuff, because I know Cracker Barrel for years had warehouses full of, they would buy estate sales and they would buy all kinds of stuff. They collect all that stuff. They had warehouses full of the antiques and stuff. Yeah, I got you, Karen. We'll do a report on Cracker Barrel. I'll bring my GoPro with me. My mom will freak out. What are you doing? We're doing a report. This is going on live. Yeah, round 1 at Waffle House, round 2 at Cracker Barrel. I ain't scared. I ain't scared a bit. Yeah, I showed this with the rock getting busted in half earlier. And this one here is for the men. According to this lady right here, we're not supposed to be able to wear comfortable pants. We can't be comfortable because we're men. You know, we can't. It's against the rules of the Karens. and we can't go against the rules of the Karens.
And here's a piece of advice. If you're a straight man at the airport, I want to see you in pants with some structural integrity. I don't want to see you in your comfies. That's not for you. I didn't sign up to leave the house and see you wearing joggers with a hole in it. Those things are for girls only. Please put on your jeans, khakis, J. Crew chinos. They're always on sale at the factory outlet. It's an epidemic and it's only getting worse. I've visited a lot of airports and it seems like as straight men, we're taking creative liberties that we don't need to be taking. Why do you need to be comfy? It's a sight for sore eyes. You guys want to wear the pants in society, so wear the pants everywhere in the airport. And if you can't dress appropriately, as my girl Kamala Harris says, do not come. Do not come.
I like this list goes out here. Reason 647. Don't wear comfortable clothes. I'll go up this list right here. Don't have pointy ears. Don't be comfortable. Don't look to binoculars. Don't go to the gym. Don't have a birthday. Let's just check out the list here. I know you just I'm sorry, Karen. Why they have to use your name to make for bad women or insane women? I don't know. But as a man, we can't daily ick videos. Don't smile, be happy, don't be truthful, don't tie your shoes, don't walk down a hill, don't be born on a certain month or listen to country music, don't have a birthday, don't get cold, don't fall over, don't bathe. I saw that video. That woman was talking about all she needed is paper towels, and she don't need to take a bath. She hasn't taken a bath in 3 months. What's wrong with this generation? I don't know. I think we got dropped in their head. Don't have a hobby. Don't carry a bag. Don't watch football. Don't breathe. Friendly fire. Don't miscount. Don't have emotion when hurting yourself. Don't use a trampoline properly. Don't skip a step. Don't test any yogurt. Okay. Don't sit down. Don't take progress pics. Where are we at? There we go. Don't wait in the line. Don't walk in water. Don't be cold. Don't post on social media. Don't get good deals. Don't wear skinny jeans. Don't have fun on a holiday. Don't swim in a pool. We're now unable to jump into water. Don't be interested in anything. Yeah, I agree, James. It's not just a generation. Hey, I'll do it, Mike. We can do it now. Don't wear matching clothes. Don't have pain in the feet. Don't enjoy yourself. Don't eat ice cream. Don't paddle on a paddleboard. Don't wash your car. You can't use Siri. Don't work out. Don't feel for your child. Don't feed your child. What are you supposed to feed your child to? I don't know. Alligators? I don't know. Don't use a Frisbee. Don't pour a pint. Don't jump in the water. Don't have any fun. Don't wear a seatbelt. Don't use a cart. This is funny ass list. Don't put car blinkers on. Don't look at the animals in the zoo. Don't use emojis. Don't laugh. How's actually that's too much. But yeah. And so, yeah, instead of Nikes, just do it. Just don't do it. If you think it, just don't do it. Because you're gonna piss somebody off. No matter what it is, you're gonna piss somebody off. If you're a ginger, you got no soul, you can't help it. If you're whatever, you can't do anything. this was kind of interesting. I sent this to James. I don't know if he had a chance to look into it. I glanced through it a little bit. I want to bring it up too. It's kind of fun. It says Terrace Swart is a Cambridge neuroscientist and says she just revealed evidence we can communicate after death. So ghost stories are real. Getting into the haunting season, so it won't be long. October will be here soon. So, but she documented 10,000 plus cases proving I can't even speak the words today. Consciousness. I still can't say it. Survives the body after losing her husband to leukemia.
I was asleep and I heard a noise in the distance, and we had been burgled once. So I went to check it wasn't the alarm in the garages. Couldn't work out what it was. Thought maybe it was birds in the distance. Went back to sleep. It was about 4 a.m. And then I got woken up by a massive thump to my shoulder. I wouldn't demonstrate it on you because it would be too much for me to hit you that hard. It wasn't like a tap. So I opened my eyes and I could see next to my bed a very vague, hazy version of Robin, as if he was pushing himself through treacle to be seen. And I was just transfixed. And I saw him become more and more clear. I could see the outline of his hair and his face. And then suddenly he just dissolved from the top down and my eyes went like this. And I remember seeing his shins and his feet. And I was like up on my elbow watching, and I just gasped out loud. Years, I could ask for specific signs and get them. Sometimes at first it would take a while, and then it became like it would happen that day. I could ask a question in my head and get an answer. I mentioned having, sort of, again, being at the brink of my sanity, having to question things. I was experiencing something called thought insertion, which in psychiatry is one of the symptoms of schizophrenia. It's when you have a thought in your head that you know isn't yours. So I was experiencing that really vividly. But can you imagine experiencing that and at the same time being a psychiatrist that is saying, right, Tara, you do realize you are having like a psychotic symptom? And so in my research, one of the things I realized that maybe, if you're going through grief and you don't know the things that I know, you can't articulate to yourself that grief in many ways is like psychosis. It's changing the levels of neurotransmitters in your head. It's changing the electric and chemical like signaling in your head. I just have so much empathy for people that have to go through that and don't have the wherewithal or the resources that I did.
Yeah, that fried rice does sound good, Karen. It looked good. That fried rice did look good. And Wally, we all bleed red. We are humans, most of us. I think at least 75%. Might have some hybrids in here. You never know. It's just the way the world is.
It took me a little while to kind of put together what that might mean by really like tapping into why was my body manifesting pain to sort of remind me of something or show me something. But also in the first couple of weeks after Robin's body was taken away the morning after he died, and it was just under 2 weeks till the cremation. In that time, I would wake up in the morning and I would be absolutely freezing cold, like shaking and shivering. And it was October, it wasn't like midwinter. And I would blast up the heating. When someone else was in the house, I would realize it was like a sauna. It was actually a bit embarrassing and had to turn it down and like open some windows. And Robin actually hated being cold. And he would have been in the morgue in a refrigerated drawer that whole time. And again, I think it was my sense of temperature that was kind of on the same wavelength as where I didn't consciously think of where he was, but I was feeling freezing cold. So much more than what we think the human mind is capable of now. And I believe that the brain actually filters down the capability of the mind so that we can exist on this material plane. And things that I found out doing research for the signs is going to shock you. The abilities that we have that we're not aware of are way beyond what you might even imagine right now.
In what departments and facets of my life?
Let's just start with something really simple. How many senses do you think we have?
5. I can smell, I can touch, I can hear, I can see. Is it 5 that yeah, 5. Isn't it 5?
Have you heard of a sixth sense?
Being able to see ghosts and stuff.
Okay, so I think most people would agree that we have 5 senses. And some people would say, isn't there something like a sixth sense? And I don't think it's agreed what that might be. So I actually did a literature review of several pieces of research about how many senses humans have. And we actually have 34 as we currently understand it.
34. And so what does this mean? Like, what is the, because you're making an assertion here. What is the assertion that you're making? And what does that mean for the material sort of consequences of my life?
I'm making a hypothesis based on both the analogy of the observable universe and the fact that we have this expanded suite of senses to challenge you to understand that you are capable of much more than you think you are.
Yeah, 34, that's a 34 and growing, like Mike said. That's the sixth sense. You know, quote in the movie.
So Professor Alexander Bathiani, who wrote Threshold about terminal lucidity, put it really nicely when he said, maybe at the border of life and death, we see something that is true all along, but we don't, for whatever reason, see it or acknowledge it whilst we're alive and well, which is that the mind and body can operate independently of each other.
It is quite shocking. There's this case from 2009, an 82-year-old woman with Alzheimer's disease who was nonverbal and non-responsive and had no apparent recognition of her surroundings or families for years. And then one day before her death, she suddenly sat up in hospital, looked around and recognized her daughter by name, spoke clearly, reminisced about the past, thanked her family for caring for her. Her speech was coherent, her memory was intact, and her personality recognizable, as though she had never been ill. She fell asleep that evening and died peacefully during the night. Mm. And what do you think's happening there? What do you think's happening there?
It's possibly, partially explained by a surge in neurochemicals, but it's not explained by how can those neurochemicals act if the physical neurons and synapses are damaged. There is no explanation. The only explanation is that the mind is not emergent from material matter. It's not the mind, the thoughts, the emotions, the psyche cannot be solely emerging from physical matter. That's the only explanation from what we understand so far.
Yeah, I can see that, Karen, with the remote viewers and the astral travel and projecting. And like for the people that can, travel and I guess that's part of it too, travel to people in their sleep, in their dreams and talk to them. I think a lot of people don't realize they can actually do that one, but that's interesting. I loved it. I'm over here being quiet because I'm over here reading the chat, the YouTube chat and the Rumble chat, as always. Has amazed me. There's a bunch of great minds are in this chat. So if you're listening and you're not looking at the chat, y'all need to check out the chat too if you're listening, because there's a bunch of amazing minds and lots of amazing thoughts going through the chat.
Was really, really convincing. And then there's one story that Dr. Bruce Grayson told me. He's a professor of psychiatry at University of Virginia who has done 50 years of research into near-death experiences. And he told me the story of a patient in ICU who kept going into cardiac arrest. And he had a primary nurse who was a young 20-year-old nurse, and they had a really close bond. And one weekend, she had time off for the weekend, and he had a different nurse looking after him, and he went into cardiac arrest and he had a near-death experience. And in that near-death experience, he saw his primary nurse. She said to him, "Your life isn't over. You have to go back and get better. And please tell my parents I'm sorry about the red MG." So he wakes up in ICU. He's got this replacement nurse looking after him. And he says, the strangest thing just happened. I had this experience of being in this other world. I saw my primary nurse, and she said I had to come back. And she also said, tell my parents sorry about the red MG. So the temporary nurse bursts into tears, runs out of the room. He has no idea why. Someone comes in and says, what's just happened? He explains, and they tell him that his primary nurse was given a red MG for her 21st birthday, took it out for a test run, crashed it into a tree, and died. Now, he didn't know she was dead, but he saw her on the other side, and she told him to come back.
And the guy that told you this story was who, relevant to the patient? Who said that?
Dr. Bruce Grayson. He has done 50 years of research on near-death experiences. He's got over 5,000 recorded cases of patients of his own that he's looked after that have had near-death experiences. And he also shared with me the numbers of cases that other people have on databases. So, you know, we're looking at over 10,000 cases globally recorded at the moment.
That's kind of neat. As soon as Karen said something about near death, and then she starts talking about it.
I was particularly compelled by 3 stories. Dr. Mary Neal, an orthopedic surgeon, she's in that Netflix documentary, Surviving Death. She was submerged underwater for 15 or 20 minutes. She should never have been able to be resuscitated. She describes her whole journey of going to another realm, seeing, you know, a being of light, being told that her life isn't over. She has to turn back and return to the physical world, even though she could see her bloated body and her friends trying to reach her to resuscitate her, and they couldn't. With the near-death experiences.
Yeah, James, it looks like she's on a podcast. So, like, there's got to be a full, like, whole podcast where you can, which is this whole section I'll probably have to cut out of the whole damn thing because they're going to copyright me. But it'd be okay. I don't get paid from YouTube anyway, so it ain't going like it's going to demonetize me. I'll see if I can find it for you, though.
Dr. Eben Alexander, who wrote Proof of Heaven. He is a doctor. He was an atheist. He was in a coma with bacterial meningitis and was pronounced clinically dead, and then basically came back and said that he saw heaven, and he now believes in a God that is benign, that cares about the future of humanity. Dr. Eben Alexander, who wrote Proof of Heaven. He is a doctor. He was an atheist. He was in a coma with bacterial meningitis and was pronounced clinically dead, and then basically came back and said that he saw heaven, and he now believes in a God that is benign, that cares about the future of humanity. Dr. Eben Alexander.
Karen keeps on calling for the next part right here. I don't think she's reading ahead. I don't know why she's dressed like a vampire, Mike. She does kind of look like one of the ones. You know, maybe she is. Well, you know, crazier things have happened, I guess.
3 of Robin's passing. And by that point, I was feeling a bit like I'd completely burnt out, and I had a choice about how to reemerge. You know, whether that was going to be in a good way or I wasn't going to be able to make it. And I had this analogy of a phoenix rising from the flames in my mind. So on that trip, I said, darling, send me the sign of a phoenix.
You said that to who?
To Robin, in my head. And I chose the phoenix because it's really unusual. So it's not like if I said, you know, a dog, I'm probably going to see a dog on the pavement every day. But I chose something that is not an easy thing to see. And I was actually in Oklahoma City, where, you know, you wouldn't expect necessarily to see like something unusual. Every single day between my hotel and the studio, I went through Chinatown and I passed a restaurant called the Phoenix Garden with a big emblazoned, like, you know, sign.
Maybe she's protecting her neck with the black neckerchief, you know, for vampires, you know. She goes on the wrong side of town, and she's going in Chinatown, so maybe that's possibility, you know.
Called shared trait vulnerability, which falls under the field of research called neuroaesthetics. So basically, creativity is a positive personality trait, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there is a high correlation between creativity and psychopathology, which is mental illness, particularly depression, schizophrenia, and alcoholism. And there are quite a few high-profile examples of creative people who had mental illnesses, like Alexander McQueen, Kurt Cobain, Van Gogh. In this,
Thank you, Karen. Karen dropped a link for the podcast in the Rumble chat. So if you want to pop over to Rumble, you'll see the link to that podcast where this lady's talking about it. So you won't have to see all the bit parts. Yeah, hide the neck, Cubs.
book is the art of noticing, because really we live in this world where life is passing you by at 100 miles per hour. You're not noticing things that could actually be crucial to you thriving rather than you just surviving. One of the things I've written about in the book is the art of noticing.
The short clips are getting shorter and shorter. She might be a vampire, Monique, because I've seen you hadn't seen shoulder pads since the 80s. So I don't know. Are the shoulder pads coming back, ladies? Is that the new look? I know they get to the look, the makeup look now, where you're supposed to be looking like you're dead tired and exhausted, and that's the cool thing to look like. But the shoulder pads are coming back too. I don't know. What's up, Gaston? But yeah, I thought that was an interesting one. I wanted to share some of that clips and stuff like that. Because we like I said, this is anything is possible, and we talk about a little bit of everything, and especially on my regular pre-recorder shows, I have talked about all kinds of stuff. So for sure, being the possibility that they can prove that you can communicate after death is an interesting theory for sure. I showed that already. That was funny. And let's see. Let me go back all the way to the. I'm over flapping around here. If y'all haven't paid, I'm just gonna be ADD tonight. I'm by myself. I ain't got no Jamie and Dave to kind of push me in a direction. So I'm gonna be super ADD tonight. If you haven't been watching the Project Unity, them videos they popped up, they're on the third one right now, and it's pretty cool. Check out this one right here.
Limestone. This is calcite crystal. So this entire section of the wall, this part here, and this part here is all huge single slab of limestone. I mean, calcite crystal. Calcite. Yeah, alabaster.
Yeah. Wow.
You see the
difference
between
there.
the limestone and the calcite crystal.
Wow.
Mafish Noah, who's going to show us? What about your flashlight? This one's better. Yes.
She's never seen one of what, I don't know. Like I said, maybe she is a vampire. Maybe she's, what version of vampire is it? Is the Blade vampire? Is a sparkly Twilight version? Lost Boys version? What we got going on here?
I know.
Thank you.
All right. So he's going to show you.
Okay?
Yeah.
No statue. Okay.
Yeah.
I know. Okay. I see.
This is wild. Watch it, see y'all.
Okay, you see the figure?
Whoa.
You see the belly button and then the arms?
Yeah.
Yeah, That's pretty neat right there. That was carved out. Hey, it could be cuz fan. She could be. It could be. You know, she had some little hickeys or something on her neck. You know, she. You know. Hey, that's why her husband's come and visit her, trying to figure out who she's messing with. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty wild right here. But yeah, it's if you hadn't checked it out, it's pretty cool.
And then the arms. Yeah.
Music's loud. All right. Well, hopefully Sunday, Mike, we'll see you with your new look, with your new neckerchief pack in. I might have to, when I go on the Nights of the Storm again, I might have to wear, I got being silly, being me. I ordered I had to order a certain, my daughter's getting married and I had to order a certain vest. I had to get a certain pair of pants, certain color, whatever, what she wanted. And so, but like I could pick what her tie I wanted. So, yeah. So what I got is I got a black tie and it's got little bitty Punisher skulls on it. So I got a Punisher tie for her wedding. So maybe I'll wear that for the when I come on Nights of Storm too. I can have my Punisher tie on. This video here had me wondering, questioning.
You had COVID? No. Lucky man. Not lucky man. T-cell man. I have a T-cell in my body that protects me from the nucleic acid. Where do I get one? That trial was held up by the FDA and by Collins and Fauci.
But you never got COVID because your protector cells were so strong? Have you had COVID?
No.
Every time I hear T cells, though, it's like I don't know. I think about Resident Evil. I'm laughing at the chat. Oh, I forgot to show this earlier. It'll be funny to show now too, but with all the AI stuff, I meant to show this earlier, but
may it please the court. I come here today a humble pro se before a panel of 5 distinguished justices.
Is this, hold on. Is that counsel for the case?
I generated that.
I'm sorry?
I generated that. That is not a real person.
Okay, it would have been nice to know that when you made your application. You did not tell me that, sir. I received the application. And you have appeared before this court and been able to testify verbally in the past. You have gone to my clerk's office and held verbal conversations with our staff for over 30 minutes. Okay? I don't appreciate being misled. So either you are suffering from an ailment that prevents you from being able to articulate, or you don't. You are not going to use this courtroom as a launch for your business, sir. So if you are able to shut that off, if you want to have oral argument time, you may stand up and give it to me.
Hey, who got the? I don't know if I'd take that chance of that. Night, Ashley. Appreciate you coming on and listening. Yeah, we'll. But yeah, who? It must not have been a real serious case, or he wouldn't have been taking a chance. You know, like, oh, here I'm gonna make an AI lawyer just sitting here and talk. But I guess that could be part of the future right there. You could have AI attorneys. Just having a screen right there and go, who's gonna jump up and be the first ones go, looking at 15 years in prison? I'm gonna take a chance with this AI lawyer and see what he can do for me. I don't know. I don't know on that. Look, could be, James. We got, you're looking at, 2,500 or 10, 20,000. O.J. Simpson's lawyer fees brought us the Kardashians. They gave him so much money to do that. So, I don't know. Matters what your case is and how bad you want to get off. You'll be spending a lot of money. So if you could just go, hey, I got me a lawyer right here. I had not seen that, Karen. Karen said there was a victim of a crime that testified in a trial as an AI. He was dead. That'd be crazy. That'd be hard on their family. Especially, if it, knowing a family member died from, vicious crime, and all of a sudden they're in front of them speaking to them. There you go, James. You can get with Mike if you ever get in trouble, and Mike will create you an AI lawyer, and and you just pay him. I think that'll be your best route. You'll have a trouble minds lawyer. Yeah, I mean, how does that work though, Karen? Said his AI avatar or whatever gave him a victim statement. I mean, I guess. I mean, how do they truly know that's what really happened? Just the theory or the circumstance of, looking at it. I know if you're looking at different, in police cases, they're supposed to look at, 3 or 4 different ways. So, I mean, is that what they're going to put out? I don't know. Yeah, lawyers could be with all the, with the AI takeover on everything else, just like all them tech jobs. And yeah, Nicole might have been waiting on OJ Wally and kicking right in the nuts as soon as he come across, but he might have went down south, so they might not be in the same place. So I don't know. Not my place to judge and say who's where, but good possibility. What I got pulled up here though is the cojones on these people are very, very massive, because there's no way in hell I would have done what they're doing. Check out when they scroll up. It's here it says, oh my God. They're in the eye of the hurricane. That means they had to go through the hurricane to get to the eye. In a propeller plane. I don't know. Then storm chasers they got some something. I ain't doing it. They got drones now they can send up there. That's wild though. See the storm as it getting into it again. Bam. Damn all that. Stop playing. Be oops. Wouldn't try to do that. Let me play the Karen dropped the AI generated man addressed this killer in court. This is I'm probably gonna get popped for this too, but oh well. It'll be okay. Oops, I hit stop instead of share. I'm glad I caught it before I sit here and was quiet for a couple minutes.
Hello. Just to be clear for everyone seeing this, I am a version of Chris Pelkey recreated through AI that uses my picture and my voice profile.
This AI-generated avatar of a man who died in a road rage incident in 2021 addressed an Arizona court this month at the sentencing for the man who shot and killed him.
So, hello everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. It means a lot.
The AI version of U.S. Army veteran Christopher Pelkey was used as a victim impact statement at the May 1st sentencing, one of the first such instances in a U.S. courtroom. Pelkey was fatally shot by Gabriel Paul Horcasitas, who was sentenced to 10.5 years in state prison.
To Gabriel Horcasitas, the man who shot me. It is a shame we encountered each other that day in those circumstances. In another life, we probably could have been friends. I believe in forgiveness and in God who forgives. I always have, and I still do.
The statement was written by Pelkey's sister, Stacey Wales, who said she turned to AI after struggling to convey her grief and pain in her own impact statements.
And so I turned to my husband one night and I asked him, I said, Tim, I want you to help me have Chris make his own impact statement at sentencing next week. I know you can do it. I've seen your work.
Wales, her husband, and a family friend who all work in the tech industry created the AI avatar together. But there were hiccups along the way.
AI only has an IQ of about 60 to 65, so it can do some things well, but then it gets pretty stupid on other things. It can't show emotion very well, so to try to have it learn that nuance is challenging, to say the least. AI tried to change his clothes in a couple ways. They put him in a sweater and it doesn't look anything like him, but it's pretty funny to imagine. This is probably the most ridiculous one. It's great comic relief to have AI envision him like this. And that was actually part of the healing process, to see Chris in this fun and funny light, which I know he would absolutely get a kick out of.
This is the best I can ever give you to what I would have looked like if I got the chance to grow old. Scary, huh?
I love that AI. Thank you for that.
Here's Judge Todd Lang of the Maricopa County Superior Court in Arizona.
I feel that that was genuine, that his obvious forgiveness of Mr. Horcasitas reflects the character I heard about today.
Even though the AI avatar was used only at the sentencing and not during trial in front of a jury, some law experts still say the use of generative AI material in court raises ethical concerns because AI is a simulation of reality, not verified evidence. Harry Surdin is a professor of law at the University of Colorado.
The family is trying to advocate for mercy on the part of the defendant, and this is understandable and sympathetic. I think a use like this opens the door for less ethical uses down the road.
Certainly it can be used nefariously or in the wrong hands. But if you approach it with morals and ethics, tools can be used for good.
Well, I'm going to go fishing now. Love you all. See you on the other side.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. That's a crazy, using that for that. Yeah, they're supposed to be nonpartisan, but oh yeah, they're absolutely are partisan on a lot of stuff, and yeah, and I agree, Karen. That is the problem. Moral and ethics aren't always used, and hoping people are ethical is asking a lot, especially in this world. There's a lot of evil, twisted people, and they're going to use, whatever this is, to, especially, imagine if they did have it, they actually allow that in front of a jury, and you're hearing the voices and stuff. That's going to make, anybody who's got a heart, break down, and if it was right or wrong. So you could have, loved ones and stuff sitting there and talk and like that to sway a jury for sure. We already got AI, affecting, people's lives as it is, relationships and stuff like that. We got the people obsessed with AI that, to the point that they'll leave their marriage for AI. And got people asking AI if it should leave their spouse, and of course, like ChatGPT is going to, that's one of the things they were talking about. Like, no matter what you pretty much set it into it, it's going to be, it's going to agree with you, whatever you say, like, yeah, you're right. You're amazing. You're smart. You're this, I'm like, you could be as dumb as a box of rocks, but according to ChatGPT, you're one of the smartest humans in the world, Yeah, Monica, hopefully people, won't be smart enough, but, there's, I don't know, that's one of the, the worries and the concerns with the whole, this AI industry, China is pushing that side of, over there and trying to incorporate everything. A lot of companies are trying to incorporate AI and do away with a lot of their personnel, thinking they could just pop it in. That conversation I had yesterday, which will come out Friday with Peter Swim, we're talking about that, people are, thinking they can just dump people and use AI. It's, he made a funny comment of how, describing how AI really is like, AI is your big drunk friend that you got to take care of, keep them out of trouble, is a very valuable tool and you can use it, but but it's one of them things like, I don't know. I agree, Matt. So it does change the definition of a witness impact statement, because that's, that's not true. That's not a witness. That's his sister. How she feels, and she knows her brother well, but still, It's still not a witness. She wasn't there, and she's not, thinking for him. And would he actually, be in front of her and saying, "Hey, I apologize. I forgive you," and all that? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I use AI to make thumbnails and get show ideas and stuff like that. I mean, you're using it as a tool, just like Jason Barker. If he was here, I know he would chime in. Using it as a tool that it is there's nothing wrong with that. But when people start adding emotionals and thinking as like it's human or lifelike or it has a soul and all that, that's when we start going down a slippery slope that we might not get back out of. I wonder, Mr. Duffy's back. He been lurking. He been sitting back listening. Yeah, you're right. And when you do your search on your phone, the first thing does pop up, even on your computer, on your phone. These new computers, they're trying to, integrate the AI into everything and make you use the AI. No, AI is not going to tell you the truth on 9/11. That's for damn sure. A lot of the conspiracy, they're going to sugarcoat it, or they're like, well, that's been proven wrong and blah, 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 because that's what they're programmed to tell you. It's like I've said before on here, me and Jamie and Dave brought it up before. If you're looking up stuff, what I feel and they feel, we've all made it kind of saying, is, use 3 different search engines, for real information. Don't use Google. Google is going to be wrong. The only thing I use Google for anymore is car parts. That's it. Because I got a Google phone, and so if I use the search on the bottom of it, I look up, car parts or something like that. Something simple that it's definite answers. That there's no like, hey, you got this car and you need this part, or here's a part number. But when you start, trying to dig into, fact or fiction or history or spoof, you got to use, I know there's Brave, you can use Firefox, you can use something, there's several ones you can use and use all 3. If you really are passionate on something and you're trying to find the answer, you can do like I did back at, I used to be terrible about it. I used to have about 20 tabs up all the time. And, because I was connecting, sweets and recipes. Yes, recipes, stuff that's definite. You can use it for definite stuff. Recipes, and little things like that. But you're digging around and you're looking up. But if you're really trying to find the facts, you have to have multiple tabs up. You have to sit there and counter and see which one and balance it out, because there's so much false information out there. There's so much BS. There's so much cover up that you gotta fact check it and see. Oh yeah, that they absolutely do, Mike. Federal judges still have biases. That's the Supreme Court. That's why they, that's one of the big things. You're going to have a, a liberal judge, or you're going to have, a right-leaning judge, or whatever you're going to have. It's and you got to have odd judges out. You can't be even. So you got to have 6 and 5. You're going to have 6, right leaning and 5 left leaning, or You know, it's crazy. Absolutely, Mr. W. You know, it's crazy that you, especially certain sites, you know, it adds so much bloat and crap is popping up when all you're trying to get dudes find a simple recipe for some, you know, chicken noodle soup or something, and you got to go through 14 ads, and that's why a lot of people use them ad blockers and stuff like that. Is going to have to, you know. James, I bet it's hard for you with the ads and everything, because this blocking half the way you get your screen when them big old blocks shoot up all of a sudden. Yeah, and fried rice, Karen. Oh, that's cool, Mr. Duffy. There's a lot of good people from Memphis. There's a lot of crazy son guns from Memphis too, but there's a lot of good people from Memphis. The heart of the city is a good. It's just they've allowed a lot of things happen that's not good, I'll say. Let me do a. Share the screen. This video right here is kind of fun. I was hoping Jamie and Whitney could see this. Oh, I love that song. I sing Walking in Memphis and doing karaoke. I love Walking in Memphis song.
Scared.
Oops, I made it. I could see Whitney doing some silly stuff like that. Yeah, walking in Memphis, walking 10 feet off a bill. That part is real on the 10 feet off a bill, because down Bill Street they put all the sewer, instead of the digging the street up, they actually put the sewer pipes on top of the street, and then they put the road on top of it. So the old Bill Street is actually 10 feet down. Little fun Memphis fact, you know. So it's when he talks about being 10 feet off a bill, that's what he's talking about, is the actual Bill Street. The original Bill Street is actually 10 feet down or so or more. Little fun Memphis facts I got in my head.
Like, his films were so different. And he was a weird guy too. He did like complex mathematics in his spare time.
Yeah. Y'all for sure learned something tonight. Now I'm happy. I'm happy to be able to actually, you know, y'all for sure learned something. It might just be lyrics to a song meaning, but I'm glad. Oh hell, that sounds good. I've only eaten one meal today, so you know, we keep talking about food. I might have to run out here in the middle of the night. I don't know, I got some snacks and stuff here, so I'll be all right.
I just pulled my script from Eyes Wide Shut. I had a script that was from set, and I was reading it over the weekend, and I saw that it has this. I mean, I've known this for a long time, but I started really thinking about it over the weekend. It's missing a narration. It's missing a third-person narration that was originally in the movie. And that's because the movie was recut and changed after his death. And they will deny it. But as a student of Kubrick, I'm watching the movie and I'm like, oh, Kubrick wouldn't do that. Kubrick wouldn't do that either. Kubrick would have trimmed this scene.
I didn't know they recut it after his death.
Okay, so apparently
they finished it.
Well, that's the party line.
That's a version,
That's the party line. But I think that they changed the notes, the close-ups. The the inserts of the notes, I think those are changed. It's missing a narration. It's definitely missing a narration. A third person narration, like that scene where he sees the prostitute who's died. He's at the morgue and he's looking at her and he's like leaning over her. It's a bed for narration. There's this whole thing. What they do instead, because they couldn't say that Kubrick finished the movie because they hadn't done the recording of the narrator yet. And so maybe they just kind of kludged it together, except there's an entire thread that's kind of been squashed in that film. And that's the two men that are throughout the movie that are constantly in the background of the film, who eventually in the final shots of the film, you see like Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman in that final scene in the toy store when she's looking at the Rosemary's Baby bassinet, which is totally Kubrick saying something. And they never take their eyes off their daughter until the moment they take their eyes off and the final line of the movie is coming up. You see those two guys walking off with the daughter. They're taking her away. They've given their daughter to the pedo cult. That's what's happened at the end of the movie. And there's an incident where when they first screened the movie in England, people who were outside, this is all secondhand, by the way. There were people who were outside of the theater who could hear inside of the theater Kubrick yelling at all the executives and saying, "It's my movie, you can't cut it. You can't fucking cut my film, blah, 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 blah." Big argument going on. Then he dies like 4 days later.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that's what I heard too, that they cut out quite a bit of the movie, and true, that's the reason he's no longer with us. It's wild. Some of the stuff that they've done and some of the crazy stuff. I think I've seen the movie once or twice, but it's one of the ones I hadn't really watched. Like it just, but yeah, I probably need to go back and see it. I don't know, especially with my way my mind is skewed on seeing all kinds of symbolism as it is now. It's going to be wild. And speaking of wild, don't worry. You don't have to go to the doctor to get the flu vaccine. They'll send it straight to you so you can jab yourself.
An ABC News exclusive. Starting this morning, many Americans can get a flu vaccine without getting a shot or even leaving the house. For the first time ever, some adults and children can get a nasal spray vaccination called Flu Mist delivered right to their homes. And ABC News chief medical correspondent Dr. Tara Narula is here with all the details. Okay, Tara, Doc, we are excited to have you here because there's a lot of questions here on the desk. There's going to be a lot of questions at home, but this seems like a real game changer.
Well, this is definitely interesting for a lot of people. This is AstraZeneca launching a first of its kind nasal flu vaccine delivered to your home. As you said, it is called Flu Mist. This is the same vaccine that's been around since 2003, but previously you had to go to a doctor's office or a pharmacy to get it. Now you'll be able to go online, fill out a questionnaire, and a pharmacist will determine if this is something you can have shipped to your home. It arrives, you can use it right away or put it in the fridge and store it till you're ready to use it. It is essentially a nasal spray, so one spray in each nostril. And the idea is that this may be more convenient for people, obviously offers flexibility. And for those people who may be needle phobic, 1 in 4 adults are, 2 out of 3 kids are. Obviously, this offers a much more palatable solution as a nasal spray. Why is this important? We know that 267 kids died in the last flu season, millions of hospitalizations, and the vaccination rate tends to be low overall for flu in this country, less than 50%.
So you mentioned getting it at home. Who's eligible for this at-home delivery?
So, Michael, you may not be eligible.
Yeah, go ahead. Hurt my feelings, Doc. Tell everybody what you told me in commercial break.
I told you that this is for people who are 2 to 49 years old.
My internal clock is a lot younger.
We don't know if the flu vaccine knows that. But so if you are in that age range, adults can self-administer this up to age 49, and caregivers can give it to kids ages 2 to 7.
What the difference on the 49? I know you're upset, Karen. It counts you out. You know, you're heartbroken that you can't, you know, blow this up your nose here. I wonder what a age limit there. You can give it to little kids, all the way down to 2. I don't know. They always talk about the flu vaccine every year, even before I was. I'm like, nope. Every time I see somebody take it, they got sick. Every time. But I'm not a doctor, so I'm not giving out doctor advice, or this is for entertainment purposes only. So we are not giving out, or I'm not giving out. I'm still used to having multiple here. I'm not giving out any kind of doctor advice, no medical advice, no financial advice. This is all for entertainment purposes. That's it.
Who is not eligible as well, pregnant individuals, those who are immunocompromised or caregiving for someone who's immunocompromised, kids who are 2 to 4 who have asthma or may have wheezing, and then certain other individuals with other chronic medical conditions.
So big questions people will have: how much will it cost to get this delivered to your home? And what do we know about safety?
So we think that most insurance companies are going to cover this. We do think also that the shipping cost will be about $10 for 4 doses. And in terms of safety and efficacy, it seems to be on par with the needle-based flu vaccine, so equivalent essentially.
And that does sound like it would be less expensive than a doctor's visit, which is going to benefit families. What should families know if they're considering this?
Well, always good to talk to your doctor or your pediatrician to see, are you the right candidate for this? Do you have some reason why you should be getting, for example, the needle-based one? But yeah, always good to have that conversation. But certainly this opens the door, I think, for a lot of families, especially with kids, as we talked about, to be able to do something much easier than the needle.
You said a minute ago you can put it in your refrigerator and save it. So how long could it sit there?
Yeah, it has an expiration date on it. So as long as you do it before the expiration date, so you can order it now just in time for flu season, store it, and then give it to yourself, late September, early October. The idea is usually to get vaccinated before Halloween.
You said give it to you. So 3 of the 4 of you can give it to yourself.
Sorry, Michael.
Me ordered it the waste because I'm over 49.
I'm almost there with you. Next year, I won't be able to get it either.
Well, get it in while you can now.
I know.
You carry that now. But thank
Yeah, exactly. I believe, Mr. Duffy, I believe you to give out any advice that whatever pops in your head. I seen speaking of propaganda, I seen that it was they're talking, somebody was talking to a bunch of Chinese people that live in China. When they asked them, I was like, they pour propaganda across their screens. It's just understood, just like we have it. Of course, they got, and they're like, the difference is they don't watch it. Most of the people, they don't watch none of it. So they don't listen to it. So it's that's when you watching it and giving power to it and spreading it. And that's when the propaganda can work. You don't, if a group, everybody stop, which a lot of people are. A lot of people will stop watching mainstream media. A lot of people will stop watching. That's why, these shows are closing. They're cutting off, the late shows are going off because nobody's watching them because everybody knows they're propaganda filled, this garbage. There's no comedy left in it. It's just regurgitating shit. And then you can see more, Howard Stern, he's going off the air. After all these damn years, all the stupid shit, it showed that he was just a shield of the propaganda. We knew that. And everybody knows it. So they're not listening to it. They're not paying attention to it. There's plenty of other places to get good information and balanced information. It's, not one side or the other, which I hope my goal is to give that balance, when I'm actually saying anything or putting things out. Appreciate you being on, Karen. Take care. And yeah, get you some fried rice. That sounds good. Sounds good. I wish I had. Go cook me some. I got my rice cooker, but I won't be able to do no fried rice. I had to let it sit for a day. But take care, and I know I'll see y'all on the show soon. Yeah. Yeah, MSNBC, all that, a lot of them channels right there, I think the only reason they have any viewership is like because they turn them on in nursing homes. They turn them on in like airports and crap like that. So they're they're not, that's where they're getting their viewership. There's not a lot of common people in their household actually turn that garbage on. They ain't watching it because they have to watch it. There's very few people. Yeah, me too, Karen. I'm looking forward to it. I know it's gonna be another good time. We might go over again like we did last time, We'll be all right. It's gonna be fun. It'd be fun to watch, Mr. Duffy. It would be fun to watch. Oh yeah, I was talking to Peter Swim Tuesday, and it was supposed to be 30 minutes, and we went almost an hour, and then he was like, I got to cut it off, quick because I got to go, because he had other stuff he had to do, I was like, yeah, I can sit here and talk all day. We can, bouncing off people and have, multiple conversations with multiple people, help keep adding into it. I'll just sit here. Me and James sat there and on Discord, sat there until 6 o'clock in the morning one morning, just talking about random stuff. Yes, sir. We got to keep on keeping on. We got to keep on keeping on. That's the tropical storm. I guess one more crazy thing, and then we'll start some fun stuff. That whole stuff in Canada and Nova Scotia right now, they got they got people. They're not allowing even people at the landowners own the land. They're not allowing them to go out in the woods because they're worried about fires. Even though, like, even some of the areas they're doing that, there's one small fire and that's it. No bad air pollution, nothing. But now they're going to start spraying everything with a very flammable Roundup, basically. I guess in theory to kill the undergrowth, but it's very flammable. So you're going to poison the land and kill everything and hurt animals and Queen been gone. We got her son finally had to get a job after 70 years of not doing nothing to become king. Him and his mistress, the queen. I saw a thing talking about that she comes from a long line of mistresses. Her great grandma or grandma was a mistress too. Yeah, I've been on Wally's channel and we talked for a long time too. Just random whatever. I can talk random and all kinds of fun stuff. Fun subjects. Oh yeah. Check out.
And I'm going to show you how it works. So when you walk in, there's no one working at the counter and you order what whatever you want on the screen. Sometimes they have these robots going around bringing your food to you, and if you want to go through the drive-thru, you just order ahead online. Then just pull up to this special lane in the drive-thru, and this is how they deliver the food to you. So what do you guys think? Do you like this new system or no?
What's up, guys? This is McDonald's first automated restaurant with no workers, and I'm going to show you how it works.
So when you walk in, there's no one working at the counter, and you order whatever you want on the screen.
Mr. Duffy. Yeah, that
sometimes they have these robots going around.
We said that a few years ago. I know a lot of people did, and I was one of them. They were talking about, we want to make the minimum wage, $20, which, that'd be cool, except for it's just going to jack prices of every damn thing all the way up. And it's going to cost, they're going to cut costs by, having less people do more hours to balance things out, which that's what they've done. But now they're going completely going automated. So that's how they are in Denver. We got a bunch out here, and like a lot of the Taco Bells and stuff. If you go inside, you can't walk up to the counter anymore. You can't even go in there and order like you used to. They'll just look at you crazy, like, what are you doing? You go over there in that machine, and I watched a bunch of people walk out. Of course, I was there a few years ago. I was at McDonald's, and that was a fun day. I moved my daughter, and I went over there to go get breakfast before and I got in there, and the guy behind the counter and the cook got into it because he wanted, he was missing a burger, and she was like, I ain't cooking it. I already cooked it. I ain't doing it again. And that guy walked out, and the cook got fired, and then they shut the damn McDonald's down inside. And I was like the last person to get some food. And I was like, what in the hell? And because shit like that, this is why they're doing this right here. Hey, Wally, maybe with the robots, they could keep the milk machine going, though. They could. I hadn't seen that, Matt's out. He said there's a few autonomous Starbucks, which I don't surprise me not a bit. I don't know. If I go in a restaurant and I'm not interacting with people, that's kind of weird to me. I think that's part of what you're supposed to be getting. You go to a restaurant you get served, and you can sit back and have somebody else cook your food and bring your drinks, and you can have back and socialize and have fun and talk. And if you're taking all that away, what's the point? I think I did see that, Duffy, about the girl stabbing her boss. I did see that. That's freaking crazy. I don't know if it will, Monique. It's kind of like like what they say. If you get to the point, if if a single person, eats alone, and they get to the point where they're alone for so many years, and then they don't, that they get to that point where they just rather be alone, and they rather, stay that way. So if a society goes away from interacting, which a lot of this, especially the younger generation, that's why they get the Uber Eats and all that crap. Because they don't want to interact with people. Some don't want to get out, and some just don't. Even if it's right there. I mean, well, my niece lived with me. There was a Popeyes a block away. You could walk out my backyard and be there, and and walk there in 5 minutes. But they Uber Eats it to my house, and I'm like, what are y'all doing? It's right there. I had right behind where my house backed up, and it was like the main street of the city was right there. And so how I would walk across there and go to the Domino's and get pizza sometimes. I would just walk across there. or there was a barbecue place. I just walk there. But using Uber Eats and all that, just I don't know. That's and DoorDash and I don't know. I agree with Duffy. They are disconnecting humanity, and I think maybe if they do more and more they do, they'll make it easier to control. If we don't have that urge of socializing and connection and having outside connections, we don't have this kind of want to come together. Then who are we going to talk to and realize stuff are bad? If we stay in our own mindset in the same place and just be a mushroom and get fed shit, and be happy. It was that's what they really want. I think. Well, if it's that screwed up, go Hawaii. Well, I think so too, James. I think people are going to want to be with people. Deep down, I'm hoping. As always, I have hope, and I think we're always going to have that kinship of bringing back together, and I'm hoping we see more of a resurgence of people, having get-togethers and having bonfires and having socializing in groups, and I think that's something COVID in 2020 took away from us. Like a lot of people got away from that because they were worried about all the crap going on. And like I said, once you stay away so long, you're like, well, I don't want to deal with people. I'd rather spend twice as much money to have shit delivered to my house and do away with that, and then the only time when people get together is when people pass away, and even then, so you get all these, lifelong friends, and you don't see each other because this or that, and it's getting worse and worse. That could be, and lonely probably, and we'll always seek, to a point, but I don't, like I said, if we come up to as become like a society of how they interpret of what they think we should be, um, like Demolition Man, where they, uh, like I said, I truly believe the powers that be put stuff in movies to this is what we think and to see, or even like, hey, maybe this would be a cool idea, or this is a good idea. Let's put it out there as a test filler of what could be if I want to be, And Demolition Man, you couldn't even they didn't have no interaction. It was illegal to have a baby. It was illegal, they didn't do anything. It was, they were 40-year-old virgins listening to I want to be Oscar Mayer Wiener, songs and crap. It was everything was outlawed. And salt, pepper, tobacco, caffeine, sex, everything was outlawed. And that's, to control the populace of, that's part of it too, Wally. I think, and with the economy, everybody's got to work extra hours and more hours and just trying to, make ends meet, you know. And some of it is just, I'm just making ends meet, period. And some of it's, trying to keep up with the Joneses kind of thing. I remember a friend of mine when I was in school, and because of where he worked, he had to have a house in a certain neighborhood and be part of this country club and being part of this golf resort right there. And you go over there and they didn't have shit in their house because they couldn't afford nothing. They just had the house, and it's sad. And there was a lot of, he saw that a lot of that, especially, like 90s generation, everybody was getting a house or whatever, and giving everybody a house. You get a house and you get a house. And, but there's some of that too, but there is some of just people struggling. So they got to work three, a friend of mine that I thought was going to be at a funeral. I asked, I asked his brother, I asked his sister, where her brother was. I'm gonna make sure my words are right here, and she was like, well, he works 3 jobs. I'm like, holy shit. I don't think he'll be able to get off, I was like, man, I feel for him. But you gotta do what you gotta do, I understand that, but Stuffy. Hey, sometimes a family needs a black sheep, so Mr. Wally. Sometimes people need they need to, when shit gets real, that's who they turn to is the black sheep. And some of them white sheep aren't fully lily white either. Shoot, I worked my grandfather's store when I was 5, and we set up and we went around the country picking up stuff and set up in flea markets all the way up until I was like 12, 13. I've been up in Grand Rapids, Michigan in the middle of the winter. And that lake effect snow and wind coming off that damn thing is rough. And yeah. 3 jobs. Yeah, being a little kid and over here setting up on the side of the road and selling stuff, How I kind of like joking. I was like, yeah, when I retired last year, our quotation mark retired, like that's after 40 years of working. So hell, why not? I maxed out 3 jobs and a side hustle. I had 2 jobs basically and a side hustle till I quit my main job and just doing one and a side hustle. I guess this is kind of a side hustle too. I don't know what I want to call the podcast. It's my escape. Brother Dave is still awake at 4:00 in the morning. I think it is over there. Across the big pond. Appreciate you, brother. Hey, sometimes it's best. Nothing wrong with the side hustles. I got multiple, I guess myself, really. I've been doing, I got to do like this week. This show's just going random and ADD as hell. Oh, well. Hey, everybody's enjoying it. Y'all are having fun in the chat. That's all I care. Like Friday, I just found out just a little bit ago, right before I started the show, I got to go to haul some crushed concrete to actually to my old house. They're going and a friend of mine is going to spread it, and they're going to make a driveway, a solid driveway from the carport back to the shop. So I got to do that, and so I'll make a little money on that, and then I got to do some welding Saturday for one of the truck drivers and friends of mine. So I'm gonna be doing some welding Saturday and hauling rock Friday, and shoot, who knows what else is. Who knows what happens Thursday? Hell, if I can hustle up a few extra dollars, which the welding's pretty good. I'm making $100, $150 an hour loosely, so that ain't a bad hustle. Ain't a bad side hustle. It happens sometimes, Wally. Some people can't handle that kind of stuff. You don't want to think about that kind of stuff. Some people can't even talk about, death or I really don't like to be honest. The concepts and thoughts of it, but some people can't handle it all though. Yeah, James, go ahead and you can. I got a cheater lens inside my welding hood, and I wear my glasses at the same time. So you might be able to do the same thing. See what you're doing. I don't know. Let's see if I can do it. I got y'all. I think I might have lost my link dropper. Indy. I haven't seen Sweets pop up either in a little bit, so it might be. Yeah, y'all check out Dave's Waffle House. All the other links they popped up. He puts on a good show every day, like 2:30 Central Time. If you get the notifications about 2:00 Central Time, when you get the notification, but that's just his intro. He has like a 30-something minute intro. He plays music that he actually produced and sung in, and he has fun. He has a fun show. He has a pickle obsession, though. I don't know what's with the pickles, though. What's up with the pickles, Wally? Dave gonna pop up here in a second again and start laughing. I'm over here, still got this on the screen. I forgot I had it still popping up.
Skill is called the shepherd's leap, or el salto del pastor, and it comes from the Canary Islands. Long ago, shepherds used it to travel safely across steep mountains
Who
and
wants
rocky
to
ground. They
jump
carry
off
a
the side
long
cliff with a
wooden
stick?
pole with a sharp metal tip. The tip grips the ground or even rocks, while the shepherd uses balance and body control to land softly, almost like taking zero fall damage. It lets them jump over gaps, climb slopes, and control their descent down cliffs. Today, it's not just a survival skill, but also a cultural tradition and exciting sport.
Beat a pickle. Yeah. He has a duck race every Friday, so you got to check into the duck race. I think I've shown everything on here. We'll get fun videos or talking all kinds of random stuff, but we got Sherlock Meow. Where's Watson at? I've had the hell shocked out of me before, James, with it. I was in one of them pull behind man lifts, and I was leaning, I was welding in it, and the wind blew, and where I was welding, the wind blew, and it blew, and the man lift touched the drum I was welding on, and so the ground went through me, and it knocked the crap out of me. I just laid there for a second and just laid on the side of that thing, and it was rough. Yeah, Matt, that's some monk stuff right there with them poles. Brother Willie is in the house. Y'all want to check out some good music and stuff, you got to check out Brother Willie's and chat. He got some good people in there chatting and some good music and just having fun and laid back. How about this kitty over here? These skunks think it's their mama. You look like mama. That's the cool thing. Like on the chat, like most of if you're looking, that's why Indy was doing earlier. There's by the chat. That's where Sweet's at. The rumble's being rumbly. Wish Rumble get some of these bugs fixed. But a lot of the people in the chat here have a channel, so y'all check them out. Y'all check out, Temple of the Owl has his own show. He's on the Trouble Minds Radio Network with me and James, and how about this mama cleaning her baby? Like you're not going nowhere until you get your bath. I'll get turn the sound on. Ever seen an otter eat? Yeah, The only good thing about Rumble, I mean, one of the good things about Rumble is it's it don't try to cover you up. You don't, you can't, you can play whatever you want to on there. They're not gonna boot you. A little baby with a little tail wag. I'll blow it up for people to see the tail wag a little better. I got you, Wally. Yeah, Mr. Wally be, Mr. Willie be, in the morning out there, listen to music. Nice, sweets. Yeah, hopefully. I showed this video before, but it's cool. Yeah, they got BlackRock and Vanguard and State Street. F them bastards. Little goats. I thought about getting some goats. Let them eat.
Wow.
Yeah, fucking Willie. The CEO at BlackRock just became world in economic with the WEC. Where the hell he's now the head of it. So I showed that at the very beginning. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. I know that music right there give me pop. Little puppy playing with the balloon. As long as it don't go down the drain. There's something down that drain and get them.
Boy. Leaning over, what are you doing? You gonna go next? What are you doing? You are too cute. Good boy. I think he likes you scratching his back.
Yeah, Fink is a Fink. Hell yeah. Yes, I know some goats are kind of hell, Wally. I know some goats are pretty hell. Yeah, that pony was giving her hell. Yeah, I don't want them, but I might get some chickens and I might get a goat to eat this grass. I don't know. If I start planting stuff, though, hell, they eat my damn watermelon plants and stuff. I'm going to be planting watermelons and stuff next year. His daughter and father here they're having fun. Be like when me and my daughter used to have doing silly stuff. That poor baby. First time I put hearing aids.
Oh, right. I see what happened. And now it's done. Hey, Graham. Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, we were sitting there. We and her tell y'all a funny story. She's still listening. She'll be laughing too. We're sitting there walking through Walmart one day, and we're sitting there just being silly as always. And we're going to run around like, "What's up with that? What's up with that?" And we went down one aisle, and this little girl, she's probably like 3 or something like that. She was young, and her daddy was walking down the aisle, and me and Lauren was both like, "What's up with that?" And then she looked up at us like, and then she started saying it, "What's up with that?" And she just kept on. Of course, when the little kid starts doing something, they just put it on repeat 100 times, and I seen her daddy's look at me like, why did you do that to my? And me and Monkey just took off running. We just ran away. We're like, oops, we screwed up. Yeah, goats will climb any damn day now. Oh.
Makasih.
I'm gonna turn that music. Give me pop for music. I'm already probably have. I know last show I had three parts I had to cut out of video because they deemed me, blocked me. A little girl dancing all around with everybody. Yeah, it's amazing with little kids. If you turn around and if you say a cuss word in front, you can say 1,000 things, everything good. You can be preaching the word of God. It wouldn't matter. As soon as you start saying some bad words, that's what they'll start repeating. Yeah, I got banned. I'm usually banned in Russia for some reason at the time, and then there was several of them I had to cut out some stuff. Little girl, that's how I feel with a Dr. Pepper morning. That pizza hitting right there.
Yeah, she likes it.
She definitely tastes it.
Yeah, I don't know. Russia must have a strict thing over there. So yeah, losing Russia is like number one of me getting banned. Not letting me see.
Ice cream for her birthday party.
Dreams are made of. No.
No peach.
Oh, dang it.
I love you. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
What's that? Who's that?
I seen kids run out, but a dog running out. Like, nope, Yeah, don't hurt the puppy though.
Softly I call you to my love.
That's pretty cool. Little kid bowing to everybody. Out of respect. You ever seen a baby beaver? Who wants a baby beaver? I like the message about this post reach your timeline and everything will be okay. So since y'all all watching this together, everything's gonna be all right. Little red fox. Little cuddling going on. This is super sweet.
Hide over the top of the things we've been through.
Two-headed cat. Oh, me. All right, James, you're gonna have to do this for your whole apartment. You're gonna build a cat subway system for your kitty.
Me 4 months to build a subway system for Cat Town, but it's finally open today. Mr. Nice will bring his cat family to be the first passengers. Hello everyone, I'm Xing. Since I made the cat house 2 years ago, many people have left me messages asking if I could make a subway station for the cats. After thinking about it seriously for a while, there were two things I just couldn't figure out. One is, after the train arrives in the station, how to open the train doors and the platform doors simultaneously. And secondly, how to make a working escalator. Earlier this year, I decided to stop thinking about it and just get started. I'll tackle the problems one by one as they come. Of course, I had the confidence that I could get through it no matter what. It took me 4 months to get it finished, but I got it finished. Every time we finish a new scene, the biggest headache is the final cleanup. It literally is a headache. This time for the subway station, it was much easier because we have a robot. Okay, that was just a joke. The train with the cats is about to arrive. Let's go and welcome them. Welcome to Cat Town Station. Please give way to alighting passengers before boarding. Okay, that's all for this video. Thank you for your support and love. Please like and subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I figured you like that one, Wally. That's pretty neat. That's pretty much what it is. Adopted a donkey. It'd be your whole apartment, James. It'd be your whole apartment would be the train station and you know. Big old donkey. I don't think they fully cooked that chicken nugget. Yeah, it would be nice to have everything, though. It'd be cool. Oh, this is a fun video.
Look, she's happy.
Don't you dare do that. Don't you dare eat those toes.
Turn around. Okay, I don't. Mango looks.
What is happening?
Oh, don't eat that. No, yucky, yuck.
Do ba 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 do.
That is terrified.
Do ba do do do.
You're done. You're done.
And the other Mary, and the other Mary, and the other Mary. Where?
Now, James, you need this in your house right here. You gotta have a slide. Had to watch that twice. This is a classic. Everybody's watching cat videos, seen this one. I still love it though. He's singing along. Oh, is it? Hands up. Oh. Get pop for that silly music. It has the just falls. There's trust. The trust is there. And then behind me, I got Shadow over here sleeping. Sleeping on me.
Do ba do do do. Do.
Yeah, what would you do if you're taking a shower and that tried to come in and say hi?
Do ba do do do.
Can I talk to you about your car your car insurance has expired? Where you go? Can I talk to you about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ? Where'd it go? Okay, here we go. Wait a minute, where'd it go? I hate when Twitter does that. But there's go. There's that puppy. I showed that a bunch of. Oh, here it is. I don't know why it moves these videos sometimes. I don't know. The carnage is funny, but this cat's reaction I love. Your car warranty has expired. That's it.
What's wrong with your face?
And my head hit the wall.
On peut. Ah, c'est superbe.
Oh, shit!
Oh,
Nightmare.
Nightmare. What's up, Nightmare? Yeah, some epic fails. Absolutely. Oh, man. I don't know. I'm sitting here. I'm reading the chat, and man, I appreciate y'all all coming on. And let's see, can I do a commercial? I can do a commercial. I get like 15 cents. Yeah, 8 cents right now. Ooh, I can do that one. I get 17 cents. Ooh, that one 8. I can get 17 cents off that one. Shoot, that's almost worth reading, isn't it? For y'all could hear my voice of oh, it went down to 16 cents. Uh-oh. My radio voice. But I appreciate y'all popping in and joining on the conversation. Man, everybody's been great. And I appreciate, as always, it's just humbling for how many people get to come on and talk. And it's always a bunch of great, amazing minds and stuff. As the screen says on the bottom, make sure you like, subscribe, and enjoy. Make sure you, repost. I never did repost on Rumble. Oops. I didn't repost myself. But, as always, I appreciate y'all coming on. I want to keep on keeping on, keep doing stuff, keep growing, adding new stuff. Like my little mic stand I got today, finally. No more springs. I don't have to worry about bumping that thing and it resonating through the audio. That stuff used to it drive me crazy. Especially I go back to editing. I'm like, but it's all good. Just small improvements, and watching the background, you never know what you're going to see back there too. I'm going to add little stuff here and there, but make sure you check out the links in the description with the Troubled Minds Radio Network, the merch store with all. Check out the, all the great stuff down there in the description. Let's see what we got. I forget what I already put in there. I don't even know what I got in there. Troubled Minds Radio Network, of course, Dapper D Home, Check that out for if you live in the area and you need help, disabled. If you live in the tri-state area, check that out. If you need help or anything, if you just had an injury or medical or something and you need help, check out the Discord. Which that link might not be any good, but just we're gonna keep on. I'm gonna keep on keeping on. Like I said, next month I'll be back on Nights of the Storm. Friday I got the Peter Swim interview coming up. Like I said, you won't be able to see him. You get to hear him. I guess that's okay. I think it was a good conversation. So that comes out Friday. And I said in a couple of weeks I'll be on Nights of the Storm, and who knows where else I'll be. So just trying to add guests and add content and add stuff to everybody's enjoyment. So appreciate y'all as always. I appreciate everybody's right here right now. I see James has been here the whole show, James and Sweets, and I appreciate everybody that came on. Lily is here right now. Nightmare. See what we got here going on. Matt Sile, Temple of the Owl. Y'all check out these channels too. I need to do that. I want to do I gotta figure out. I want to add on to my website and do like Mike Strange does and do a friends of the channel and do that. I really want to do that. I appreciate all the lurkers in the background for lurking. Y'all are amazing too. Lurkers are amazing. Brother Willie's Desert Hangout. Make sure y'all check out that. Wally's World 420. They both have some great shows and great people on there. Dave's Waffle House. Like I said, y'all check him out. He's hanging out with us, and he's, over across the pond there, over in England. So he's a bunch of hours ahead, but he's still hanging out with us. Marie's been here tonight. Mr. Duffy always brings some good conversation. He said last week this is the only place he can be himself, so I'm glad I'm able to give him a spot. Because we had all three of the Nights of the Storm. We had Karen and Ashley and Jason all on here chatting. Yeah, he probably asleep for sure, but that's all good. Scroll through here. Of course, Michael Strange was in the house. He was number 1 tonight. That was pretty cool. And that Salcedo paranormal guy was number 3. So it's good. Gaston, make sure I don't miss nobody. I don't want to miss nobody. If I did, I apologize. Rumble had Cubs Future. And, of course, Karen and Jason and Ashley was all on there. If they come back and listen to it later. Of course, Hiker was there. And maybe Hiker's still hanging around, listening in the background. But like I said, as always, I just appreciate y'all and much love. I never would have guessed, somebody would hang out with me. So, yeah, James is number 1 now. James is always number 1. Number 1 paranormal expert in the land. Across the nation. Hell with all them other paranormal people. James is the king. Dave Schneider. I don't have anything on James. But but as always, you don't know, I'm shooting from the hip and having fun. This is all, I really enjoy this time. So as always, y'all keep on keeping on, and y'all do the peace and chicken grease, and y'all be good. Let me get Dusty on here, and Dusty will take us home. Where is he? There he is.
Got to keep on, keep it on, baby.